We're just about to get started, just giving you a heads up. We're about to start the Taurora Cup, but still waiting for one player. I think he's almost ready, so just a few seconds and we'll get the game on its way. Just a moment.
Seconds. Hurry, hurry! Radiance ban. Dares ban.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this Taurora Cup underway. Welcome everybody, my name is T-Panda, and I will be casting for you today the English stream for our very good old Finnish Cup, Taurora Cup, which is making a comeback after a long time. I myself, I used to play in the Taurora Cup before a couple times. I think that was back in 2015, 2016, I guess. So it's been a while, so it's great to have this cup back with us as well. We have some great teams here, we have some great players all around, and the best part is we have a large variety of different teams participating here. So especially, there's going to be a lot of action today. The brackets in itself is going to be a if I understood correctly, it's going to be a best of one on the first and the second round, and then it will be a best of 3 in the semi-finals and a best of 3 or best of 5 finals. So do correct me if I'm completely mistaken or completely wrong, but at least that's the format we used to have before, so it probably will be the same here as well. But anyway, in here we have on the Radiant side, we have the Wanderers, who have some experience from the pro scene. Not tier 1, tier 2, but maybe like tier 3, tier 4 levels, so they've been playing against a couple good teams, more renowned teams, and several different organizations. Whereas Exertus's Day, which is a new team for me, I don't know any of the players from their side, but they're a complete question mark here, so I'm waiting for some good performances from them, and especially the draft is already looking fairly interesting, as we have pretty basic bans on the Wanderers side. Omni Knight, Tiny, Brewmaster. Usually all of these heroes are banned in the first phase. Not more of those second phase bans, but at least these three heroes are usually always taken out. Whereas Exertus Day, they've been focusing more on those position 5 bans, where they've taken the Shadow Shaman, taken the Disruptor out as well, and then overall you've just got this really nasty offlane pusher Broodmother also taken out. But at least draft-wise, Clockwork and Witch Doctor, which is a fairly good support combination for the Wanderers. Whereas Exertus Day, they have a looking like a support Venge and also a support Naga. Could also be a core Naga. Who knows? I mean, you can still work around your draft through that, but kind of maybe reveals a bit about your draft at this point. So might be some BKB carries coming on the side of the Radiant team. Who knows? Maybe something to turn around from the Naga song, which can kind of allow your team to do some good setups, also save your teammates from trouble. But need to be careful for example, the Clockwork, who usually charges in first into the battle, so you get your hook shot in on a target, lock them into cogs, have your team follow up. If you get like a 2-man hook shot, for example, Witch Doctor's casks are going to be great for their team. So you can make a really good lockdown there completely take 2 heroes out of the game and then focus some maybe some ranged heroes here to set up with that. When I'm thinking about the support combo of the Venge and the Naga, you do have a reliable stun, which is okay. You can also build up into some physical damage carry. Physical damage heavy lineup as well, since you've got that armor reduction with the Wave of Terror. But with the Naga support, I don't know, because you can pretty easily dodge the ensnare. Though, if it does manage to land, it's, 6 or 7 seconds just standing still in a web, so you can't blink, you can't use anything, except for the BKB, where you can just take it off, or you can dodge it with a Manta as well, if you've got quick fingers, and quick reactions as well. At least some of the range carries taken away. Drow and Medusa both banned from the Radiant side, and CK and Luna. So the CK maybe doesn't sync necessarily that well with the clockwork, but at least the Luna is a very reasonable ban here. And picking up a Tidehunter to give some of that extra teamfight add for Exercitus Day. And if I'm correct here, that these two teams have a bit of a gap between their so-called skill gap, or however you want to call it. Teamfight is where usually lower ranking teams are very good at, because they know how things work as a team. They know kind of like how to do what in which order. So if you set up with the Song, follow it up with a Ravage, you can get yourself a good edge for the start of the team fight, but the rest is up to the defending team of how they will respond to the big team fight ultis that are being sent your way. Also, it sets the Dire lineup in peril, as they have long cooldowns with their big ultis, especially on the first levels, like first 1 and 2. So early game and mid game fighting can be a bit hard for Exercitus Day at the moment, with a Razor being picked on the Radiant side, but now a Shadow Fiend, which just gives that nice teamfight push, also some high ground push as well. A great flash farmer. If you get shut down in the early game, you can still bounce back pretty quickly. And also early game turnarounds with the raises on the Shadow Fiend. If, say for example, Witch Doctor or Clockwork were to roam into the mid lane to gank on the Shadow Fiend, Venge can always come and help out. Venge is pretty good as a defensive support to get that one extra stun out. Try to work around with that. Plus, Shadow Fiend already has a armor reduction aura added with the Wave of Terror from Venge, so should be some very heavy right-click damage coming out their way. It's pretty scary though against the Razor, because Razor's passive, they got changed a bit, so now it actually purges and slows you down if you get hit by it, so it will be hard for you to run away from this hero, especially with the static link that you can throw on your opponent. But about 1.5 minutes left for the Wanderers to think about their fourth pick here. They also have the first of the last picks. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I mean, they the first 5th pick, and Exercitus Day can then finish their draft with the final pick of this draft. Batrider, a pretty good pickup here, very strong against Shadow Fiend. So this is kind of falling on the shoulders of the Naga Siren to interrupt any possible ganks that are being set up onto the Shadow Fiend. Naga's not necessarily the best early game support either, so Venge pretty much has to sit around with Shadow Fiend. Naga with, Tidehunter, you can't really help Tidehunter's lane, so Tidehunter probably going to get punished in the early game by the Radiant safe lane. Interesting to see what kind of carry they want to go for, or unless they have the Razor carry and then they're still thinking about what they're going to set up for the mid lane. And it looks like a respect band Jugger. We've seen MTD playing Juggernaut mid a couple times, so that won't be happening. PL also taken out from from Wanderers, and that is a mid Death Prophet. So DP versus Shadow Fiend, and does it look like what they're going to put against the Batrider with the Venge and the Naga? So probably a basic tri-lane for the Dire lineup in the top lane.
5 seconds remain.
I mean, sorry, Yeah, of course. Yeah, Dire on the top side and Radiant Safeflame in the bottom lane, of course. Already feeling a bit gassed here to have a long casting day here to do, since gonna be casting Taurora Cup a couple games, and then in about 3.5 hours from here I will be casting the Epicenter semifinals and the finals as well. So it's gonna be a long day. That's why I'm pumping myself with coffee right now. I also made some breakfast for myself. Actually made a pizza for myself, but I won't have any time to eat that, at least for now. So hopefully you don't hear too much of this chugging sound as I sip my coffee every now and then. 20 seconds left with Xerxes this day, thinking about their last pick, how they're going to fill in their safe lane. They've got teamfight, they've got tower push. They probably just need something to throw into the fight. Something, maybe they need that range carry to fight against this Clockwork, most likely. You need something with a Force Staff. And it's going to be a Husker. Okay. Not necessarily the type of hero I was expecting them to go for, but Husker is certainly works alright here. So yeah, this should be an interesting match between these two teams, and see how both of them fare, which team is going to be going forward into the second round. And yes, this is the first match of the day. We have a couple others going on as well. You can also go watch the Finnish stream on e-urheilu. Twitch.tv/e-urheilu. I'll write that in the chat for... there we go. And yeah, I do have some of my notifications on for Streamlabs. Don't mind about them. They shouldn't take too much space from the screen. At least I haven't seen them for quite some time, so hopefully they won't interrupt this. But anyway, let's get this underway. Apparently there's no responses in chat about my voice. Actually, hang on. Quick check, players, if you hear my voice, can you write something in the alt chat just to check that you don't hear my voice? If there's no response, all good. So now you can actually hear me in-game as well. If you want to watch this game from Dota TV, that works too. Yeah, it looks like everything's okay. So, into player introductions, we have, on the Womburger side, we've got Balzu on Death Prophet, playing the mid lane. Visuder with the support Witch Doctor. Delzor with the offlane Clockwork, or a roamer Clockwork. Looks like a offlane at this point. MTD playing Razor. And we've already got Iron General with... Iron General, of course, the offlane Batrider, and having that Clockwork as a roam support. So Iron General with the Batrider for the offlane. While as we have Xerxes this day with Shadow. Is this going to be a carry Naga after all? He's already picked up Stout Shield here. Vipsu with Vengeful Spirit. Sticky Solid with Husker. Voti with Shadow Fiend in the mid lane. And Dash with it on the off lane with Tidehunter. Voice is great. Alright, thanks. Good to know there. And so we have this bounty split 2 for 2 on both sides, so all good there. Nothing special. It will be interesting to see if Iron General, he's already placed himself here in the trees, and will look for this top lane creep wave, which is heading his way. So if he wants to actually go for, and he will, he just pops the Firefly, grabs the creep wave, will most likely bring it under his own tier 1 tower, just get himself that extra quick level. He'll probably hit level 2 right away once he gets that creep wave. Does get hit by a stun anyway. Delzo already made a rotation here onto the Naga, so he drops fairly low but doesn't quite get the kill. And then we have this Shadow Fiend versus Death Prophet in the mid lane. Naga just watching his back, but shouldn't take too much XP away from the Shadow Fiend because he needs these early levels, especially that level 2, so he can get the raises, start focusing on harassing this Death Prophet, and do the best out of that. Sticky Solid and Vipsu will be playing against this Batrider, so Iron General, he already pulled that creep wave, and as you can see, he pulled the creep wave all the way from the top lane. He's already level 2, so that's exactly what offlaners tend to do this in this meta. Works great. In the bottom lane, though, we've got MTD with a Razor versus Dash with it on Tidehunter. And Tide looks like he's already picked himself 2 Gauntlets of Strength, just making himself a bit more tankier. MTD with a couple missed CS there. Shouldn't happen in the early start, because you need those damage items to make sure you can finish off all your last hits, especially getting those face boots fairly early on. And there's a little courier bait here as well, as Delzor and Visitor both interrupt. Oh, there might be a cask bounce. It doesn't quite perfectly bounce back onto Vipsu, but he does take some hits. He's already popping his Fairy Fire, but is it going to be gone to waste though? He does save himself for now, and this might actually be first blood. The tower's going to hit one more time. It does go as a split, and Exercitus Day pulling off the first kill. That does end up going as a split, but at least the first blood has already been drawn. MTD sapped himself 108 damage from this Tidehunter, and as they're both tied in movement speed, he can always pop his Link, and he should be able to win this lane against the Tidehunter. He's almost level 4, getting solo XP. That's what you want as a Razor. Just get as much XP as you can and get this hero online fairly quickly, at least through levels. If not through farm, then at least through levels. Because Static Link and the Plasma Nova are the things you want to use for helping your team out with team fights. The lineup is fairly mid-game oriented for the Radiant side, whereas I would say also the mid / almost even late game for the Dire team. Delzor with the haste, he got his battery assault, pops it onto the Shadow Fiend. There's also the Soul Siphon, but they might turn around here and Delzor ends up going down, so that's another kill. They didn't quite pack the punch, but actually Shadow Fiend might be going down here. Needs one more right click to finish the job. Balzu will get the kill, but he might end up going down here as well, as there's that Shadow Fiend. Little illusion there doing some damage. Balzu, his salve is broken. It will buy some time for now, but there's a stun ready on Venge. Does he have the range to get it? He doesn't quite have the range to close in this gap. Shadow is also high on his tails. They finally get the web out, and that should... Oh, he gets the deny. So Balzu manages to survive for the time as he was being chased by both of the Dire supports, and gets the deny as well. Persistency has a way of giving rewards back. MTD at 16-11. Compared to the Tidehunter's 9 last hits. So Tide is getting XP, which is good that he gets his Ravage online fairly early. Balzu TPing back to the mid lane. They've got the Battery Assault and the Cogs. Delzor should be able to catch this Shadow Fiend here. Looking for the Battery Assaults at least, and there is the Cogs as well. Shadow Fiend is hopelessly standing in the middle of this. Can't even get one raise out. And an easy kill for Balzu. Iron General already has his magic wand ready, and also working on these tranquil boots. We'll see if he goes for a drums or a blink dagger, because both of these items are heavily favored on the Batrider if you want to go for either. It's pretty situational. Shadow Fiend is waiting for his TP to get ready, and will instantly jump back into his lane. Vipsu grabbing some XP while SF was out of the lane for the time being. Visitor putting a good ward here, so this ward certainly giving some important vision, and at least you don't necessarily realize to deward this side of the river, so having this here is a lot better now that there's a sentry placed on here. And actually Tidehunter, I missed this one, it does go down, so MTD and Delzor pick themselves another kill. So this Clockwork Roam is working great so far. Instantly TPing back to base, fill his mana, getting ready for another rotation. 4-2, 5 minutes in, so we've got plenty of kills already in this game. Do participate in chat as well. You can talk in Finnish, you can talk in English, everything's fine here. You can always root for your favorite teams if you know someone who's playing. No need to be shy. I will try and read out your comments every now and then, and keep this community well and alive. MTD going for another sap for extra damage from Dash with it. He's already got 4 levels in this, and look at it go as this MTD guy almost picks up, and he should be able to finish off the kill. Vipsu makes a TP rotation here. MTD taking a couple hits, and he actually falls, so Vipsu picking up a kill, though MTD did get the kill first, so it is worth for him, but at least the supports on the Dire side do enjoy this extra XP that they get for getting every single kill they can. Yeah, so if I show from the fight recap, you can see that... oh, okay, well, Husker ends up going down here in the top lane. So yeah, you can see the XP here. You got 1 kill, and that's 300 XP for Venge, so that's like level or half a level at least for every kill that you get at this phase of the game. So you still get more XP for sitting at the lane. Don't know anyone on Dire, but I'm already a Vipsu fan gay. Alright, that's great to hear. I mean, Vipsu seems to be doing a good job with his rotations on the support. He seems to be on point where you have to be. But Radiant have themselves a small lead for now. Shadow getting caught by Delzor. Balzu's also diving pretty deep. Where's the rest of the Dire team? Will they make it in time to save Shadow? Still alive, surviving. They get the stun onto Balzu. Vipsu with the stun once again, and Balzu ends up going down. So Voti picks up the kill. Vipsu once again, the man of the plays. He is there. What looked like a easy support kill for the Radiant team ends up being a loss. At least farm-wise, looking at the last hits chart so far, you can see that Radiant is farming a bit more efficiently, especially with this Tidehunter still level 4. Razor's level 8. Even though they are putting some challenge onto the mid lane, as they have to force their TP rotations. There's their supports as well. MTD, who's died once, he's now surrounded by 3 heroes from the Dire team, and this should be a kill. He is juking into the trees. He has 1 tango if he wants to go for a tree juke, but he doesn't go for it and ends up getting ensnared. A pretty heavy rotation though. 4 guys going there, and Sticky Solid left all alone in the top lane, so the Radiant team, they instantly react to this 4-man rotation to the bottom lane and jump on this Husker at the same time. So Husker has been punished once again. He's only at 2300 net worth right now, which is behind the Batrider. So even if these fights are taking place, it still looks like the Dire team are a bit behind. Balzu with his ultimate being popped. There's the casks as well. Voti does get a kill, but the Maledict does hit onto 2. It's a level 2 Maledict as well. So Shadow, he should survive this. Oh no, he won't. Delzor's already there to make the move. Vipsu makes his rotation as well towards Delzor, and Voti picking up a 2nd kill, getting a dominating streak. And now the Shadow Fiend has been picking up a lot of these kills. He's maxed up his souls, and this SF should be on. And this is okay. They're going for a smoke play, but these illusions actually, I'm not sure if they actually scouted this smoke play, as the illusions were just about to cross the high ground there. Just quickly gonna take a look at what game the other channel. Alright, so they're also pretty much at the same time as we are. So yeah, I'm casting English for some of these games, but we have different games going on in the mainstream, which is Finnish, and then we have this external stream, or so to say. So take a look at their Twitch channel as well if you enjoy Finnish more than English, but you're also welcome to stay here and watch this. Great to have you here, and also nice to have the Dota community alive on this nice Sunday, as it's actually a bit sunny outside as well. And it's not even that cold. Hastrune here in the bottom lane. Visor doesn't know about it though. Husker, he's got his power treads, so sometimes you see face boots, sometimes you see power treads. Bottom lane though, there's a fight about to start. They've got the Ravage on the Tidehunter, but he's really far behind in farm. And they actually get scouted by this Observer Ward. So this smoke, it is a warning sign for the Radiant team. Visudar, MTD, they just instantly fall back under their tower. They're probably going to TP completely out of there. And this should be a sign for the Dire team that there's nobody here to be found. They're probably hiding in the trees, but the more time they spend here is more time for Iron General to start making his move. He is going for the drums, so no Blink Dagger. And he is closing up on Voti. He does find him, gets the Flame Break, gets the Lasso as well. There's the Witch Doctor ultimate, and this is a easy kill onto the Shadow Fiend. Good rotation there by the Radiant supports, and they're already pulling themselves a 5,000 net worth lead, so Vipsu is still waiting here in the top lane. He does find MTD, gets a good swap there by Vipsu. There's the jump from Sticky Solid as well. MTD should be going down, and so he will. Vipsu making things happen once again. And an important kill as well, since Razor's the one who's been free farming most of this game. They've punished him a couple times. But Balzu pushing a tier 2 tower here at the same time, as mid was kind of being on the focus of the Radiant team for the time being. Iron General taking the creep wave out of there, and this might look like a trap here. Delzor, you're gonna trap this Naga into the trees. He's trying to get his song out, but he doesn't get it. Now he might actually have the time to use it. Oh, he sings at the same time as the Ravage, so the Ravage did 0 damage, but Visitor, the focus for Sticky Solid. So he gets up one of those kills. Their ultis are on cooldown though, so they have to be careful there. Clockwork manages to TP out. Iron General also makes his way out, and Balzu, knowing that these ultis are on cooldown, will also make his way out. They also got this tier 2 tower in the top lane. So Radiant working their way around these ultimates. A bit of a miscommunication there, as the Naga was trying to get his ulti off. He couldn't because of the battery assault hitting on him constantly, and by the time he was able to use it, Tide wanted to use his Ravage. He did land it onto, I think, 1 or 2, but they didn't quite get the team fight they were hoping for. Now they have to be careful because their ultis are on cooldown, and there is a 4-man Radiant rotation to the bottom lane. They want to take this Tide Hunter out. Shadow and Vipsu need to be careful here. Okay, he does use a swap. Swap is a fairly short cooldown. It's about 45 seconds or so, so should be okay. Shadow Fiend Yules. Okay, this is a risky build here because he might want to go for some damage items. And the thing with the Yules build, if you don't play it properly, it won't necessarily benefit your team in the way you might want to, since there is a lot of things that can go wrong with the Yules build. Don't quite agree with this maxed aura, but I guess Naga makes up for not having more points in the W. I guess that makes sense. I mean, you want to put a couple points in, maybe Wave of Terror have like 2 points in it, get that armor reduction, but the Magic Missile, which is one of the highest damage nuking abilities in the early game, it doesn't really add to your stun duration, but it does add extra damage as well. You could have the Naga focusing on the web, which is, yeah, that was a 5-second route, not 6 or 7. I was gassed probably a bit earlier on, but now this long web. 1,600 health to take down, though. Iron General tanking most of this. He should be able to... Well, Volti does pick up the kill. They go for an instant smoke right under the Clockwork Flare. Visuder, do they find him? Oh, the sentry play. Vipsu. Good job, and they got the Observer Ward as well. I really like this Venge player already. But yeah, Shadow Fiend, he's been a part of 8 out of their 11 kills. They're now moving as a 5-stack towards this bottom lane. Probably take this tier 1 tower. MTD farming up nearby. Okay, I don't see what he's what he's queued up. This is that's not supposed to be the thing. Well, okay. Looks a bit weird. Anyway, Balzu has his Veils. He's got Face Boots ready, working onto a Yules right now. But this tier 1 tower, this should be the first tower for the Dire team. They've already lost several towers around the map. They're playing against this pusher lineup where DP's ulti is always something to watch out for, and this might actually end up going as a trade. They could still TP to the mid lane, and the Dire team, realizing that there's a couple heroes around here, they have their ultis up now, so it's all up to the Naga. If you can get his song out in time and interrupt as many as possible, you get the Observer Ward out as well. Shadow, he's still holding on to that song, he's not using it yet. Visitor also Glimmer caping himself out back to safety, and so this situation diffuses by itself. Nothing really happening there. But 9 to 11, but still a 6,000 lead for the Radiant team. Yule's almost ready on this. Actually, they do find Iron General once again, so he's trying to make a run for it. Vipsu running on top of this Firefly. He gets his stun out just in time, but it's a very short duration. They get the lasso out, but that's all that this Batrider can really do. And another kill pickup. It's just the problem that Vipsu is the one getting all these kills, so... Okay, there seems to be some kind of bug with my inventory, because it's showing tooltip ability, Dota base ability. So I can't necessarily see what items they're going for. Might be some problem with the lobby. I don't know. Hello, Panda. Hey, Prono Hunter. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. MTD, he's picked himself a casual Hood of Defiance, which is a good pickup. You got a lot of extra health regen, also magic resistance, which is pretty good against the Dire team. But look, they're all rotating behind MTD here. He has to go for a run for it. He does have insanely good movement speed, though. They're using the drums. And this might be a chance for the Radiant team. Do they want to go for a turnaround? Balzu popping his ulti. Volti walking into a trap, and he's already lost half of his health. There's a silence onto 2 as well. They get the shrine out, and there's the song from Shadow. This could be a disaster. He pops the sound. There's the Ravage as well from Dash with a Shadow Fiend ultimate as well. Who's going to fall? MTD's the one to go down first. They need to take this Death Prophet down, who's taking everyone so low. Vipsu gets a deny, actually, out of all of this. The Maledict ticking onto the Tidehunter. Balzu, he's still alive. Sticky solid. He can't get the jump out as well, but he's using his armlet to juke for the... Oh, there's Stelzer with the jump in, but another armlet juke by Sticky Solid. He's still alive. He survives this rocket damage as well, and oh my goodness. This trade ends up going in the favor of the Radiant team as they take 2 for 3, but they lose their DP and their Razor, and they don't take down those big cores, the Shadow Fiend or the Husker. They survive this team fight. And Vipsu also actually got a deny out of that fight. Maledict is such a good hero, man. Ability. It's a common bug in every game. Okay, so yeah. Visitor popping his Glimmer Cape, getting himself back to safety. Just had to take a quick cup of coffee there. Iron General working on a Rod of Atos next, so needs to get that bracer. He also needs a staff for himself, so should take some time until he gets this ready. But actually, is that a second? Oh yeah, you need 2 bracers for the Rod of Atos. Am I completely off here? At least that's what I remember. Okay, I'll just quickly double check so I don't make a fool out of myself. Yeah, double bracer. Yeah, there we go. All right. Sticky Solid working on a BKB next. He does have that Morbid Mass picked up, which is all you need. I mean, you can work into a Satanic later on. You can also go for Mask of Madness, but that's kind of a fallen off build. You don't necessarily want to get that on Husker. Just build up your attack speed through something else. But now, ultis are still on cooldown for the Dire team. They do quickly check the Roshan as well. Neither team is going for that, but they do go for a smoke, but not sure if they actually... They do have vision, do they? Do they not? I think they might have seen the smoke. DP anyway, pushing this bottom lane here. Moving back into the jungle of Volti, taking the front line. He does pop his smoke. Vipsu needs to get himself a good swap. He finds Stelzor. Where's the rest of the team? He's already going, but nobody's following him. The rest are going for Iron General here in the top lane, and the others are thinking about farming, so a bit of a miscommunication here. They could have jumped on the clockwork, but they don't know if there's someone else in the trees. Need to be careful for this Razor and the Witch Doctor as well. Is there someone we haven't been looking around for? Naga. Basic Naga support build. Don't go for the Q. Just max your W, max your Riplash, and have that song up when necessary. But the cooldown is 160 seconds, which is a long time. So what you want on this hero? You need a Blink Dagger. You really need a Blink Dagger on the Naga so you can pop your song, blink into the middle, because then you also surprise your opponents that, oh shit, he actually got extra movement speed through that and gets a bit closer to you, so you can catch people with the song using the Blink Dagger. Force Staff is also great, but these basic items, how to benefit your team. You don't focus on yourself. You want to get these items to help your team out. That's a supports thing. You don't play too selfish. Blink Dagger Yules is exactly what the Shadow Fiend wants to go for. Working on a BKB next. Might need an Octarine core at some point. You don't see it happen that often, but he is playing the sort of semi-physical, semi-magical damage build here. So getting the Octarine core is pretty important for him to get that extra spell lifesteal from the Razors, since the Razors do a lot of damage, but you need a Veil on your team for someone, and nobody has it yet. So if he's going for this this Yules build, you need a hero with a Veils, but you don't have it right now. Delzor, he's sneaky in the trees, waiting for something to happen. They have this Observer ward, and Vipsu, He does place his observer ward down before the sentry, so they at least get information about this observer ward. You could have probably placed it somewhere else, but they have very defensive wards. They have one here overlooking the river. They've got another over here, but meanwhile this was happening, Roshan already taken down by the Radiant team, so Wanderers pick up the Aegis for this Razor on MTD. Alright, watch your language, Tambuda. Mithril Hammer ready on Sticky Solid. We have both teams are kind of farming at this pace. At this moment, but Tidehunter's still very far away. He should be farming more. With the mechanism ready, he should be probably pushing this bottom lane in right now, since there's nobody there. They have the vision around, so they can keep an eye open if something happens. He does have a level 1 Ravage, but needs that level 2 at least for the extra damage and the duration on the Ravage, so Tide should be farming a lot more right now. Yeah, I did miss that Roshan there. I did have a good night's sleep anyway, so I should be pretty awake here. But I'm missing a couple things. I think I missed a couple kills as well. At least the good thing about working as a so-called solo studio or freelancer, there's nobody to fire me. So BKB is coming all over. Shadow Fiend, Husker, Naga. Hasn't queued up any items yet, but DP, he's very close to finishing his BKB. And if you look at the last set's denies, they are farming a whole lot more efficiently than what the Dire team is right now. So at least through farm, they are leading this game 10,000. They find the Husker with the lasso. They use the Exorcism as well. They want to take them down. Vipso with a good swap though, buying some time for the Husker to survive. He goes for a jump onto Iron General, but he's not the target he wants to take down. Since he is a tanky guy, they end up losing both. So both kill streaks gone. Balzu with a double kill here. And this, with this Exorcism, they should be able to take down this tier 2 tower. Creep Wave is already there as well, so Volti and dash with it. There's not much that they can do. Shadow needs to be careful. He does get Rod of Aethos here. Pops the song maybe a bit prematurely here, but the Exorcism is about to, it actually just ran out, so they could have maybe gone in. They don't want to 3 versus 4 this situation, or actually make it 5 as the whole Radiant team is there. Doing this slow siege onto the high ground, just doing a bit of damage there. So let's see how this this develops. Hey, thanks. Thank you for the subscription, Bavi Vihre. Enjoy your T-Panda S emoticon, and thank you for supporting this stream. I really appreciate it, man. It's a nice equivalent for the Monka S. Visurar is working on a Force Staff plus a Aghanim. So with the Glimmer Cape, Aghanim's Witch Doctor is a very beneficial weapon for their team, especially with a Clockwork. So we were talking about this this setup earlier on in the drafting phase, where you have the Clockwork and the Witch Doctor, where you can just put your opponents into a 1 or 2-man hook shot. If your opponents don't have Force Staffs, as it looks like at the moment, you don't have a single Force Staff on the Dire side, but look at this rotation coming in. They're all smoked up, and they're gonna find 2 of the cores. They're all isolated. They don't have any of their team fighters to help them. There's no TPs coming either into the shrine. So Sticky Solid is gone. Volti is gone as well, with Delzor and Visitor doing the work there. And Vipsu might be caught here as well. There's the Rod of Aethos as well, and an MTD double kill. And they will most likely head to the high ground here. There's not much they can do to hold this back. They have the teamfight ultis. Song is up in 6 seconds, but there are no buybacks on the core, so this is definitely going to be Rax for the Radiant team. It's Balzu with his Exorcism. Level 2, almost level 3 as well, as he almost hits level 18 there. He's heading straight to the top lane, wants to take down those Rax there. They're forcing the Glyph. This melee Rex will definitely go down. What is Radiant gonna do? Do they still want to stay in the base? Do they still want to go through this? Because all of their ultis are on cooldown, so they cannot they do not want to fight against these big ultis on the side of the Dire team. So they respect the ultis being up. As theirs are down, they walk away, and the damage has been done. This tier 3 tower, already at half health, and Midrax, they are gone. Why can't I see what the heroes are saying? I have captions on, so I've always actually enjoyed watching what the heroes have to say. It's an option in the audio settings. So a smoke. Not sure if they got caught by this observer ward, but Vipsu putting some more aggressive wards out as their defensive ones are about to run out here on the cliff and on the riverside. They don't seem to find anyone though, as all of the Radiant team, they've fallen back behind safe lines. MTD is also farming here on the high ground, because you don't really know what's happening with your opponents. Roshan, 2 minutes at least for the minimum respawn timer. So let's see what happens. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Alright, so we've got some BKBs being popped by MTD. They're driving the Shadow Fiend away. Vipsu doesn't get the deny out. They used the Courier as well, but the Courier didn't have any items, so that is just some plus gold. 21,000 net worth lead, and if they lose this, if they lose even more heroes, this could be a disaster. Naga walking in. He does have the song on. What can they do here? They have the Ravage will get popped. Balzu has his BKB up already. As the Shadow Fiend is already gone, and this fight isn't going in the way of the Dire team. The Radiants are pulling it off. Tidehunter is the one to be deleted. Double kill for Balzu with a dominating streak, popping his Exorcism as well, and they're hitting straight for these top racks. All of the ultis are used on the Dire team, but they are just so far behind in farm, and these heroes are so tanky to take out. Tidehunter has to be buying back by now. There's the lasso onto the Shadow Fiend. If he's gone, this might certainly be a GG. Vipsu, oh, they're both caught in the casks by Vipsu. They're throwing that as the Meteor Hammer as well to land on top of Dash with it. MTD picking up the kill onto the Tidehunter. And as only the Shadow Fiend and the Naga Siren to live to tell the tale about their base crumbling. Shadow also just watching as Iron General, being a cheeky little Batrider, moving deep into the base, using his rod, but instantly purged away by the Q of the Naga Siren. But there's the Yules onto the Shadow Fiend, another Yules as well. Sticky Solid jumping onto MTD, but he pops his BKB on, and they survive the Huskers' right-click damage. 29,000 net worth lead so far, and only the bottom racks left remaining. But they want to go all the way. I mean, why not? This cup was also meant for good practice. So they are actually playing against a very, very high-level team here. So Exercitus Day, they definitely tried their best, and certainly will give a heads up to Vipsu, who's been playing a good job on this Vengeful Spirit. He's been on point with his stuns, with his rotations. So hopefully this team, or at least if not as a team, at least improve as individuals and make their way forward in the MMR bracket. Get out of that. There's no such elo hell in Dota, but at least something as an equivalent to that. Delzor and Iron General looking for another pick-off here. They find the Naga. He dodges the ensnare as well with the Blink Dagger, but he does get swapped. Then there's the Yules. There's a Song as well. So they should be able to isolate this Batrider and kill him outside of the Song range. So Shadow just isolating and zoning out the rest of the Dire team. They get a pick-off onto the Batrider. That is at least something. Now a Scythe being picked up by the Death Prophet. So Balzu adding more to his crowd control capabilities. Witch Doctor also has his Aghanims up, so I want to see some great Death Ward plays here in the end. Let's see if he can get like a... I mean, there's always possibility that he could also land a Rampage here, but we'll see. Balzu popping his Exorcism, and this is the last. Huzzah! There's the BKB popped by Balzu. Vipsu is completely isolated here because of the swap. But Balsu just making his just as really fast hero. There's the SF loading his ulti, but it doesn't land onto anyone. And Tidehunter's gone, Volti is gone, this Witch Doctor ulti is doing so much work. 4 heroes dead on the Dire side, and that's a GG call by Exercitus Day. So Wanderers will make their way as the first team to the second round. Ignore the team name there, but at least something to maybe here. Vipsu, he did a great job for his team as a support Venge. He was on point with the early game rotations, but it's just one player focusing on so many high level players. We've got top 2,500 players here as well on this side, so a heads up to them. I mean, look, if you take a look, these guys are like Legends and Guardians, so they did a good job against a full Divine team. So a heads up for them. But until for the time being, I will be heading on for a short break, waiting for the next game to be cast. So don't go anywhere. Be right back, and hopefully you enjoyed the cast. And no, I'm not quitting here. Alright, so this game is already going on. So there is Paunupojat versus PK Jengi. So that would be the PK gang, PK Jengi on the Radiant side, and Paunupojat on the Dire side. And all of the games were already going on, so I had to jump into a game which is already on its way. We can see on the Radiant team, the PK Jengi, they have Terrorblade, Centaur, Gyrocopter, Ogre, and Shadow Shaman, so a pretty fair all-rounded draft. It looked like they're all around like 4k to 5k, somewhere between there. And then we have on the Dire side some players that I don't quite know. There's some also around 4 to 5k, so this should be a pretty even up matchup, as well as they have Witch Doctor, Shadowfiend, Clinks, Clockwork, and Enigma. So apparently First Blood was just spilt, and all cause of the goddamn pizza, yeah. So I just had some breakfast, and now I'm all good to go. Yeah, I just wanted to eat a bit. I was just so hungry. Anyway, in top lane we've got Sick Boy versus Manny. Manny on the Clinks, and Sick Boy with the Centaur. He's doing okay with 22 last hits compared to Centaur with his 5. Beto Gilnor playing a support Ogre here, rotating around this mid lane against he on. So I'll call him Ohai. There we get the cast onto Ritz. Viva la Vida with the Clockwork rotation there. The cask as well from Mad Scientist, but there's the Maledict popping onto Reese, but he finally ends up going down, and so does Mad Scientist as Mega Man grabs him by the ankles and grabs him, but Viva la Vida does get those cogs out just in time and just poking around these two Radiant supports, so it does end up going as a 1-for-1 trade for both teams. So they get the Gyrocopter, they lose the Witch Doctor, so that is worth for the Dire team. Bottom lane though, we've got Lolo on Enigma. I always like seeing this hero, especially when he's playing it in the off lane as well. So he should be able to slow down this Terrorblade's farm by quite a lot. So TB has to put some points into his making those extra TB illusions so he can farm those camps, but they're going for the Malefice. There's also the Clockwork. There's one more tick to go. There's the Cogs and the Battery Assault, and Zed, he is not enjoying his time. He just got level 4 and getting destroyed by Enigma and Clockwork right now. So his early game is kind of ruined for the time being. Hey, Prono Hunter, thank you for the subscription. Well, enjoy your T-Panda S emoticon. You can use it anywhere in any stream where you want to. So thank you man for supporting the stream. Really appreciate it. There we got the shackles once again onto the Clockwork. There's the casks. It's not gonna connect more than once, and there's the Maledict also onto Beto Gilnor. He should be okay as Witch Doctor. He's only got level 3. Has 1 point in his casks, 1 point in his Maledict as well. Mega Man stealing this Arcane Rune in front of the Clockwork. He doesn't want to risk his life. I mean, who would want to risk their life over a rune? Manny, though, doing pretty good here in the offlane. There's still no Stampede on the on the Centaur, and Manny setting up a devious trap here for this Centaur, but he won't be able to kill him, but will do a lot of damage just driving him out of lane. Meanwhile, Ohai and Mad Scientist moving towards this middle lane. They want to aim for this Gyrocopter, who is sitting here just unexpected. He doesn't actually know well, okay, they have a word here, never mind. So they do actually know that Mad Scientist is moving over here. Mega Man closing the distance to him, but they won't quite catch him. Anyway, there's a fight going on here in the bottom lane as Beto Gilnor being challenged by Viva La Vida. He's chasing with a Battery Assault. He does have a creep with him as well, but now they're turning around. They get the shackles onto him, and this could be a big kill for the Terrorblade, who's been slowed down so much. They do get that kill. Mega Man picks up the last kill. I mean, the last hit for the kill, but Zed got to be a participant for this fight as well, so helping him out farm up a bit as well through that assist gold. Gyro has face boots and Aguila so far, so he's doing okay against the Shadow Fiend, who's built himself an Aguila and still working on his power trades actually, so Actually interested to see. They're pretty much tied in last hits, but more denies on the side of the Shadow Fiend, so he probably took himself an edge. Oh, there's the Black Hole being used onto Terrorblade. They should take this kill. He should be dead. He does conjure an image, but it's not going to be enough. Viva La Vida with another Battery Assault tick takes the kill. And it's 2-4 on the side of the Dire team right now. And Enigma did a good job using the Black Hole. That's what you want to do in the early game. You want to use your Black Hole as early as possible, put it on cooldown, and then just focus on the farming phase and just denying these creeps. He's already got 28 denies, so this Enigma will be huge later on in this game. Zed and Beto Gilnor, they're setting up for this. Mega Man is also here. They find the Enigma. There's the Metamorphosis being popped. Lolo should go down, and he does. Mega Man steals the kill, actually, with the Ether Shock. Greedy for these last hits. The supports on the Dire side, they weren't quite on time there to help this Enigma, but they are moving towards this middle lane, and they are pinging this Gyrocopter. Closing up from every direction right now. Does he understand that he is in trouble? Clockwork revealing himself here. They're chasing Gyrocopter into the other direction, but he pops some movement speed there. He's getting bounced by the cast. He's got the Maledict on as well, and also Mega Man getting stunned here. So Viva La Vida surviving for the time being, but Mad Scientist versus Reese. Who's going to survive from this? Mad Scientist goes down, and actually Beto Gilnor ends up going down to the Shadow Fiend, but this Gyrocopter is unharmed. So both mid laners get themselves a kill. I mean, that was some good movement by Reese there. He wasn't kind of revealing to the Clockwork where he's going, and since Gyro has really good movement speed to just kind of like move around, especially with the face boots, he's got really good movement speed. TPing back to the mid lane. There's Mega Man catching Clinks, who just popped his strafe. Should get a kill onto the Gyro on the Shadow Shaman. No detection though. A freebie for the Clinks. 70 seconds until this Black Hole is up. Zed also has a Sunder. He already uses it. And Viva La Vida does end up going down. But Lolo, does he want to go all the way? He doesn't have a single point in his Midnight Pulse though. That could have maybe done the job. So TB will survive. Shadow Fiend is building. Okay, he's going for the Yule's build as well, but they're ahead of their opponents at the moment. Shadow Fiend with the Yule's build is good when you're leading your opponents, when you're ahead of them in either objectives or farm or map control. If any of these are going well, then this Yule's build should be profitable. Also adds a nice setup for their team fight with the Enigma's Black Hole. So he should be building himself a Blink after this. Dire side cores leading the net worth chart. Gyro high on their heels as well. Zed and Mega Man versus Lolo. This Enigma. Greedy. Oh, almost reveals himself to Mega Man as well. He could have got caught there. They do have the Metamorphosis, so they could just turn around and kill him if they wanted to. Okay, there's the Stampede being used. Apparently it was just to run away from the top lane as Kalinx and Witch Doctor were chasing around. Gilnor giving some info, just get the stun onto the Clockwork. There's the call down as well by Reed, just doing a lot of damage onto the Clockwork. There's the Rocket as well. Easy pickoff for the Radiant lineup, but they lose the tower anyway. So they couldn't save that. Blink Shadow Blade better than he can up to Silver Edge and break Return. I don't think Return is going to be a big of an issue here for the Dire team. But we'll see. Lolo gets the Black Hole out. Zed is low. He goes down, and so does Mega Man as well. Lolo just in time getting out of those extra crowd controls that they had on the Radiant team. Popping that Black Hole also finished his Midas here. 12 minutes in. Not the fastest timer for the Midas, but at least they get themselves 2 big kills, and TV is dead once again. 3 deaths already. But yeah, I don't really think that Silver Edge is good for Shadow Fiend in this game, since you want to focus on probably getting a Manta, or even actually just go straight up for a BKB, build up into damage. Maybe a Sanjin Yasha and a BKB could be better for Shadow Fiend here than going for a Silver Edge. Scotty could also work pretty well since they need to slow down the opponents as well. Reeds versus Clockwork. Balavida. That was a good attempt, but not enough. Still, space created. They get a tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, but now Centaur and Ogre, they're smoked up here. Shadow Fiend. They pop it. There's the dust. He does have that Invis rune, but he is dusted, so he cannot really go away. But actually, Mad Scientist makes a good rotation here. Buys some time. They get the Maledict. They get one raise onto Sick Boy, but he should be able to survive this. There's the Rocket as well onto the Shadow Fiend, but Manny making a rotation onto Reeds. He needs one more hit. He gets shackled, and Reeds is able to run away. Mega Man just in time to save his teammate. He takes the bullet, but he saves his core. Dire team on the push now. They have a 4,000 net worth lead and also 5,000 in the XP, so they can definitely push at this phase of the game. This is the part where they can actually focus a lot more with pushing, since Clinks is good for pickoffs, Shadow Fiend is great for pushing, and also look at the damage this Clockwork is. This Clinks is just throwing onto this tower. Radiant using the scan on top of the trees, but they know someone's there. Gilnor anyway taking the front line. They find the Clockwork. They instantly jump on him, burst him down. It's a good kill. And now Sick Boy. Okay, he's just gonna TP 1 meter closer. You can never know what happens around, so you want to stay around the fight because it's only a Maledict. But yeah, no reason TPing all the way back to base since you're still almost full on health. Enigma, very close to his Blink Dagger. Shadow Fiend is also, yeah, he's going for the Blink Dagger now, after that Yule's. Witch Doctor is going to be spending most of his time just warding and de-warding this game. But there's the aggressive wards being planted into the mid lane, so they want to go for this tier 1 tower. They doesn't have any backdoor protection either, so they might have to actually tank this. Lol. He has 6 seconds until the Black Hole. The casks are not bouncing the way they wanted to. They might still catch Betogiln or Manny coming from the side as well. This could be disastrous. Sick Boy picks up Mad Scientist. And now Clinks is in the middle. This is where's the Enigma? Why won't you as a perfect 4-man Black Hole just waiting for you? But they lose the Clinks. And they were just farming the wards here at the backlines. They could have just focused on this team fight and taken so many. Well, that is a missed opportunity, and Radiant will certainly thank for this. They get 2 pickoffs. They do feed the more wards, but that is a very minor loss for them. Zed working on a. Okay, we've seen this thing happen. Arteezy's been building. What was it again? He's been building Battle Fury on Terrorblade, and apparently now it seems to be a thing. So he's also Zed building a Battle Fury on this Terrorblade. Lol, needs to be careful. Mega Man and Zed are both around. He does blink, smart blink as well, jumping downwards and just TPing out. But now Manny, hoping for. He's just hoping there is someone here in the bottom lane. He has to be careful though, since there's a lot of Radiant heroes around. And there's a sentry now also placed on the river, so this will reveal any extra movement by the Clinks. Lolo trying to look for some pickoffs here. There's no one to be found though. Manny still moving around, and now the entire Dire team has actually moved to the bottom lane, so they're looking for some kills here. Beto Gilnor making a run for it. And when you know that your opponent's team is pretty much missing, you just want to stack up. Well, not like completely stack up. At least something like that. At least get safe distance between each other, so you know if someone gets jumped on, you know how many opponents they reveal. Who are they going for? If it's like if they jump on a support, like if Mega Man was the target, he would probably die so fast that you don't even want to go in there anymore. Since they more rely on pickoffs on the Radiant side, whereas Dire, they just want to get themselves the perfect 5-man team fight. They're waiting on the high ground. Gilnor kind of reveals himself. He could have waited there, but it's a bit hasty. Using the call down as reads to kill this creep wave, getting the aggro as well. But now they are finishing off this tier 2 tower. They still use the glyph though. 0 points on Bloodlust as well for the Ogre. And so the Dire team, they finish themselves a tier 2 tower and they just back away. So a lot of objectives going in the way of the Dire team. They could actually just go straight for Roshan, and yes, they actually will. They just gonna straight up march in here. Do they have a medallion on anyone though? Oh, they don't. So, if uncontested, they should be able to take down this Roshan. Gilnar is moving around. Centaur is also unaware of what's happening. This is a issue when you're focusing on where your opponents might be, then you forget about it for a moment. And that's just exactly just what's gonna happen. 18 minutes, easy Roshan for the Dire team. Completely uncontested. No wards around the area, no idea your opponents are there. Except that nobody was defending this top lane, so they could have figured out that, hey, boys, there's something up. Maybe it's a smoke gank. Let's stack up. Oh crap, they're doing Roshan. And then Roshan dies. And whoop, called it. Clinks with the Desolator and the Aegis is definitely something to watch out for. And also Shadow Fiend with the Yule's Blink. Level 2 ulti as well. Maxed souls. Oh boy. Zed, he has this meme Battle Fury finished. But now he just needs to farm a lot faster. His Manta is off his timer. He's a bit behind. Force Staff and Hurricane Pike going for the Gyrocopter. Positioning is good. Okay, they take the bottom tower with the creep wave, and also thanks to the Terrorblade illusion. But they're now pushing towards this tier 2 tower in the top lane. There's still nobody here to defend. There's only the Ogre who doesn't have a single point in Bloodlust, so he cannot even buff up the tower. There's no glyph either for 2.5 minutes, so it's an easy tower for the Dire team. Meanwhile, Centaur desperately trying to hit onto this tower in the mid lane. Reeds is farming, but now they realize that the Dire team, they want to push, and now we just wait if Lolo can land a perfect block. Okay, Reed's already using his call down to destroy this the start of the creep wave and at least get some aggro for himself, but Manny doing work at the back lines. This tower is already taking 600 damage, so let's see if they continue going. Mad Scientist has 1 point in his heal, so he can add some of that sustain for their push. He has his heal on, but he's not actually healing anyone right now. Well, it doesn't cost that much mana on the first rank anyway. Gilnor, you get a stun onto the Clinks, but they're so afraid of the black hole. They're not even actually trying to work around this. They could probably like wrap around somewhere, force the fight to split around a bit, try and look for a pick-off there. Because they're all stacked up here in this one big clump. They could just attack from several positions. And then they only need to do is find the Enigma and use either the Ogre or the Shadow Shaman to break the black hole channel. They're moving in. They get the Clinks. They should be able to burst down the Aegis. There's the black hole though, but where's the cancel? There's nobody to cancel it. They just walk into the black hole and 2 heroes already dead. There's a double kill for the Shadow Fiend, and also the Shadow Shaman is gone. Gilnor trying to hold up, but he's alone here. There are the buybacks coming in. There's 3 buybacks already. There's the cooldown put onto 4. Is doing a lot of damage. Do they find the Shadow Fiend? He does get his Yules out. Where's the follow-up from the Dire team? Do they end up losing this trade after all? They get the buybacks, but is that all they get? They're still running. There's a good cogs from Viva La Vida trying to block away the Radiant team. They're going for a chase with the smoke. Sick boy. He cannot quite catch them. They're just TPing out. There's 2 heroes already gone. Enigma's also TP'd already to the bottom lane. Oh boy, they got the buybacks out and they don't even get anything in return. Oh dear. They popped the Aegis off the Clinks, but that's all that they just got out of that. Okay, Gilnor walked in pretty deep. Centaur is also there to follow up, but they're just 2 heroes here. They don't have any buybacks left on. Let's see. They have buybacks on the Terrorblade. Okay, so that's at least something. He's been farming this whole time as these fights have been taking place. So at least TB has got something up his sleeve. He's still keeping up to the farm pace of the Shadow Fiend and the Enigma. So still a bit behind, but now they have to be careful. They put the sentry. They might have caught the Clinks there as well. Let's see how this goes. Battle Gilnor tanking most of the damage. There's Reese. There's a Stampede being used as well. Enigma using his BKB, but there's no Black Hole. But they catch 2 right next to each other. But how is this going to end up? They've already lost the Ogre. They're losing the Gyrocopter as well, but he's still low. Clinks, he finally ends up going down. Clinks is still alive. So is the Shadow Fiend. Zed finally takes part in this fight as well. He's being Maleficent. He does have the Sunder up. There's the Shadow Fiend. Explosion on top of the Centaur. And so TB is gone and Centaur is also gone. That's a 5-man team wipe. And the Radiant team, they are history. Oh boy, oh boy. So this Dire team, Paunupojat, they're heading towards the high ground of the Radiant team once again, this time from the bottom lane. And look at this tower melt with the Desolator, Strafe Clinks. Black Hole is also up in 30 seconds. Lolo goes for a deep dive just to stun Peto Gilnor a bit. There's also Mega Man, but there's a buyback on the Terrorblade, but he will be up in 20 seconds, so they just want to hold this area, drive the Dire team away for the time being. But that is all that's gonna happen out of this. Manny also still alive. They're gonna take the shrine out as well. Sorry, my mouse is bugging a bit. It keeps pulling out instead of zooming in. No pun intended about pulling out. Reese is still working on his Hurricane Pike. Still far away from it though. Witch Doctor's also doing a okay job here as he's been on point with the casks, getting a couple good ultis, but the Maledict is the thing that's been doing the most work here. I'm surprised he's only put 2 points in it, since he could put a third and just ignore the heal entirely. The heal is good for sustain since he's the only healer on their team. I don't think they have an urn on anyone else. Enigma's also working on a Lotus Orb, so he could protect himself a bit better. And also the BKB too, so nothing to cancel his Black Hole when he BKBs in. That is an issue for the Radiant team. If they see the Black Hole, if he's BKB'd, there's nothing they can do about it. They'll just have to watch and observe. We haven't seen any smokes on the Radiant team. I think there was one smoke maybe like 10-15 minutes ago, but that's where it kind of stopped. Another 15,000 net worth behind. It's been gently sliding towards the favor of the Dire team, minute after minute. And with Shadow Fiend now has his BKB. He's going for an Axe as well. Look at this. Centaur is caught once again. Does use the Stampede. There's a stun from Peto Gilnor to slow down Enigma, but Centaur is already gone. Now Clockwork in the front line, getting hexed. He still has a hookshot, but he goes for the Ogre. But there's the BKB already being forced by Enigma. So maybe a bit preemptive there, using that Black Hole. Sorry, that BKB. He still has the Black Hole though. But now onto the high ground is the Dire team. Lolo standing at the backline. Shadow Fiend going in with the BKB, but he doesn't quite land the explosion. But look at the damage of this Terrorblade. Zed is doing a lot of work. Even though they traded the racks, he destroyed this Shadow Fiend. Mad Scientist is the next to fall. The casks were bouncing around, but oh yeah, he also has a double damage rune, so TB. There's still chances for the Radiant team to hold on and stay in this game. Oh dear. So yeah, there's the Finnish cast also going on twitch.tv/eurheilu if you want to tune in for the Finnish mainstream cast. I'm doing this on unofficial English cast here for at least another hour or two, and then we're gonna have a short break before I start casting Epicenter semifinals and the actual finals. So I will be for the European qualifier. Lolo blinking himself away. Clockwork also moving himself out. Roshan is up though. They have warded this entire area. Okay, they use the Stampede. They want to look for something. They find Mad Scientist. Lolo waiting on the high ground for his opportunity to jump in. Popping his BKB. Gets the black hole. He only catches... Okay, the courier is at least dead. There's the hook shot from the clockwork as well. But Lolo doesn't do much damage there. Manny, he's actually stuck inside the wards. He wants to get out of here. He's tanking Zed's damage by quite a lot. Still 60 seconds until he has his... Metamorph up. They're using the shrine. This fight is spreading. They're going all in. They want to take Mad Scientist out. They will. There's the BKB used by the Shadow Fiend. TB still man fighting against these two. And there's this soul explosion using the Sunder. But Zed, he's the last man standing. And he is gone as well. Mega Man, the lone runner here. As Viva La Vida chasing him around. He should finally get... Okay, they use a Lotus Orb. Perfectly timed as well there by Lolo. Cancelling the shackles instantly. So 5 heroes dead again on the side of the Radiant team. And so this Helsinki gang might be facing elimination here as the Dire team heading towards the high ground for a third time here in this game. They took the top racks. They've almost taken the bottom racks with the tier 3. And now they're heading towards the mid lane. See how much they can do here. One buyback. That is from the Terrorblade. There's the call down. They're trying to take the Shadow Fiend down. He just get his Yules out in time. He has Blink Dagger, but he cannot get out. Zed picks up that kill. So he gets something in return for his buyback. It almost feels like the only thing that could save the Radiant team here is getting a Rapier. But you still need to watch out for this Enigma. If they can catch this Enigma before he black holes or pops his BKB, they have a good chance of winning the team fight. But every time Enigma is allowed to wait and wait, Shadow Fiend and Klinks will just do so much damage onto the Radiant team that they are forced to counter initiate or enter the fight, and that will eventually lead into good black hole spots since they are ahead of their opponents by 17,000 net worth. They have all the time in the world to respond to these fights. Manny's working his way towards an Assault Cuirass. Gyrocopter has finished his Hurricane Pike finally. He's very poorly farmed though. He's only at 10,000 net worth at the 30-minute mark. He's a bit behind, but they do use their smoke. So they're going for a 5-man smoke and hope to find something. They are spreading a lot though. This could have led to Ogre getting caught actually if... There's a double damage rune just picked up by Manny. They're going for the Roshan pit at the same time. They finally scout out this movement, but where are they going? They're actually jumping onto the Enigma. This is exactly what they want to pick. He does get the black hole onto free. There's the hookshot as well from Viva La Vida. And they're bursting down. The Gyrocopter's already gone. This is a disaster for the Radiant team. They've lost the Gyro. They've lost the Centaur. They're losing everyone on their team. Zed is the last man standing, still fighting against the Shadow Fiend. He does get something in return though. And now they're looking. They get the shackles onto the clockwork. They're waiting for this blade mail to run off. And so Zed picks himself a double kill. And actually they still get something out of this. So they don't lose the whole fight entirely. But Manny closing up on Zed. There's the TP out. And he should be getting away. They just realized that he's gone. They saw his TP. So... a 3-for-3 trade after all, so the Terrorblades still managed to bring out something into their team fight. Zed is the carrying force of this team right now. With this Metamorph up, he's definitely going to need a Refresher Orb at some point of this game to maximize his damage output. But Enigma did the right thing there. As soon as all the crowd controls ended, he just BKB'd, popped his ulti, allowed his team to initiate onto the heroes that were ganking him, and they turned around the entire fight. But if they were only a bit quicker in taking down the Enigma, they could have won the whole team fight. Somebody surprised someone, pretty much. Okay, they smoke right next to the creep wave. Manny, they're in the Roshan pit once again. Beto Gilnor getting revealed by the Observer Ward, but look at this. Reeds walks into the Roshan pit as Ogre was going the entirely different direction. There's the Stampede being used. Witch Doctor taking the brunt of the force of the Radiant team, and they might actually steal the Aegis here. And so they will. Zed, he has an empty inventory slot as well, just to pick these items up. He picks up the Aegis. They also get the cheese onto the Gyrocopter, and so this Helsinki gang is back into the game. Manny, he was hoping for cutting the creep creep waves, but they haven't quite respawned. Zed already TP'd here. And so Manny, he's waiting for someone to return. Can he find something here? He's a bit afraid of going on to the gyrocopter. Meanwhile, bottom lane, 6 seconds for this black hole on the Enigma. But he doesn't want to go in. Yeah, see you later, Prono Hunter. See you around later on with the Epicenter cast. So yeah, for the Epicenter cast, I actually had 2 people coming up for the co-caster slot. I was talking with Noda Hacks that he would have probably come, but I did have a backup. I actually asked before him, so there was what was the guy's called? Guy called again just to quickly double check. Yeah, Wingblade. He's ranked in the top 300 players on the European leaderboard, so he will be co-casting today in the Epicenter semi-finals. Not sure if he will do the finals, but at least for the semis, he will join us here on my stream. Never cast with him before, so he should probably have some good insight to what we have. We're casting one of the Finnish teams, 5 anchors, playing against AR Pro, which is a alright stack. There's also the other semifinals game, which is between LOTV. That's Wagamama's stack versus Sexy Bamboo's stack in the other semis. So one of these 4 teams will be going to the Epicenter. I think they go straight to the main event actually, since all of the qualifiers are already spread into the open qualifiers. Couple Dire heroes placed here in the bottom lane. The only one not participating is the Clockwork, moving around in the mid lane, just kiting this little Terrorblade illusion here. Just trying to halt the TB push, since these illusions are getting stronger and stronger with the Scotty pickup from the Terrorblade. And yes, the meme Battle Fury Arteezy was building in the Galaxy battles. We're seeing it in the Finnish league as well. Good stuff. Reed's working on a butterfly next, and now there's Beto Gilner getting caught. They forced the Stampede at least. Sick boy. Oh. They're all around here as the Dire team on the right side, the Radiants on the left side. They're looking for that one small opportunity to jump in. There's the Invis rune popped by the Shadow Fiend as well, but Radiants, they're forced to come back towards their base. They don't want to fight necessarily that deep outside of their base when they don't know where the opponent's wards are. As Paunopojat, they have the vision game, they have the map control on their side for now, but they're looking for Manny. Just not on point, so it will miss. They still think he's somewhere around, but they don't quite have. But now this is the Dire team. They're clustering towards this Radiant lineup. They realize they're on the run. They get the catch. There's the hook shot. There's the black hole onto 2. They're gonna burst down. There's the Shadow Fiend explosion as well. Beto Gilnor is gone. Sick Boy is dead as well. And they used the black hole though, so there's still the majority of the cores left on the Radiant side. Instant buyback from the Centaur. And they still have the Aegis on the Terrorblade and the Cheese on the Gyro. Okay, there's a Lotus Orb rocket coming back. Go, and Viva La Vida putting the cogs onto the high ground, just forcing these TV illusions back, and they will die to the Midnight Pulse. Now Manny hitting on these racks. They take them down the range racks. They're still looking for the melee. They cannot quite take it down, and there's also a creep wave heading into the base, so these 2 catapults can do some damage onto these buildings, and every small bit of damage done is always time reduced from the amount of defense that you can do. As the less buildings you have in your base, the creeps will just directly run towards your tier 4 towers and start hitting on them. Roshan, 15 seconds for this Aegis to expire, and then another 3 minutes for us to wait the minimum timer for the Roshan respawn. Now, this Observer Ward will manage to expire by the time that is done. So will the Dire Observer Ward as well, so might see some warding, might see some fighting around this Roshan pit. any minute now. Lolo picking up a very important refresher orb for this Enigma, so now that double BKB black hole is up. And look at the smoke play by the Radiant team. They realize that their aegis expired. They are still going for an aggressive move here. They're going from the top side of the jungle. They are afraid to go behind this tier 2 tower, but this is... Okay, they are using a scan because they realize that everyone is missing. Gilnor, he throws that ignite onto the Eidolons here in this mid lane, so they know that they are around. So the smoke finally expires. Do they go for a counter smoke play here? They stack up? Yes, they will. They stack up on the high ground. They instantly head for the... Oh, they're gonna pick up this DD rune as well. Shadow Fiend, does he want to take it? Yes, he will. There's Lolo using his BKB, but he cannot quite catch anyone, so there's at least one, but he still has a refresher orb if he wants to get another one. They burst down Beto Gilnor, so he is at least taken out. Lolo just barely jumps onto the edge of the tree, so he cannot find more. But they used a BKB and a Shadow Fiend ulti, plus the hook shot on just the Ogre. So at least they didn't lose too much on the Radiant side. Still, there's a double damage rune on the Shadow Fiend that is active right now. That is gonna hurt. Lolo Manny. Mad Scientist of Viva La Vida waiting here. 20 seconds for this Ogre to respawn, and they're still holding this melee Rax, but Manny taking the front line with the Lotus Orb. There's the stomp from the Centaur. They trap him inside the wards. As the black hole, it only lands onto the Centaur. And so there's still the refresher orb. He does catch the Terrorblade. Can they kill this Enigma, who's still so low? But he does get the BKB. But there's a cheese being used by Reese as well. They use the Shadow Fiend. They're dying on the side of the Dire team. Zed is giving chase to them. Ultra's gonna be a rampage. Yes, it will. Zed will take himself a rampage, and this Dire team is gone. Radiants are holding. Oh my, this is the first rampage. I wasn't actually expecting this from Zed, but he did it. He did it anyway. And that is the whole Dire team just gone. And now they can finally push after such a long time of holding. Whew. Beto, man, leading the charge of the small Jimmies towards the Dire base. Zed finally also takes over here. There's the first buyback from the Clockwork. Can they force any more? They should be able to force more buybacks. There's the second one from the Enigma. They force the Glyph as well. Lol. He doesn't have a black hole, and Zed, he's not even worried about this. He doesn't care. He's still got the Manta as well. And the Sun. Oh, they're going for this anyway. Does get the Force Staff out. There's the Sunder. Clockwork getting shackled, and it could be a it could actually be a dieback. So that's a dieback on the Clockwork. He's gone for 80 seconds. Terrorblade is still up and well. He's got 27 seconds until his Sunder, because he went for the Metamorphosis attack range, so he didn't get the Sunder cooldown reduction, which doesn't really matter at this point. But the attack range is really, really good for him, so I just feel like the Dire team just ran out of patience. 20,000 to 6,000. It's got to be somewhere around here. With all those buybacks. One dieback, getting a tier 3 tower, and winning the previous team fight. I don't know. This TB is such a carrying force. He's 10,000 net worth ahead of the Shadow Fiend on the Dire team, and they're holding. It's the team fight on the side of the Radiant team. It's not beautiful to watch, but they are managing. Like Reese, he did have the cheese in the previous fight. You have to remember that. So he almost fell down, popped his cheese, and so they had to face the gyrocopter once again. And TB survived the solo black hole of the Enigma. So that did do a huge thing there. The only thing is they couldn't kill the Terrorblade. I mean the Enigma when he was at like what 150 health. Could have died from a couple hits from the Shadow Shaman. Maybe. I mean he does have that nice 8+15 armor, making him a very tanky offlaner with the Lotus Orb. And since he was BKB'd, you can just only throw right clicks at him. But anyway, a rampage for this TB. Then again, kind of a downside for the Shadow Fiend with his build, since he does have that Blink Eul's build. And okay, he picked up some armor with a Shiva's Guard, since most of the damage on the Radiant side is physical. Okay, they are taking... This is an important Roshan because it has a Refresher Shard. Do they contest it? None of the heroes are revealing themselves on the map. There's the Rocket. Do they go for this? They should contest this Roshan, but it's too late already. And a Refresher Shard on the ground. Manny picking up the Aegis. There's the cheese also for the Clockwork, and a Refresher Shard for the Enigma. Triple Black Hole on the way. Let's see how this goes. They're marching towards this bottom lane. They realize that there's a Shaman here in the bot lane, but he will just instantly TP out, trying to push this wave out a bit more. Manny taking the front line. Lolo is also around. And so is the rest of the Dire team, looking to take these mid-racks down. That is one building down. They get the stun onto Klinks. They get a follow-up stun as well. Even the Force Staff. There's the Shadow Fiend ulti. Deleted. Just in time with the Lotus Orb as well. But look at the attack range from Zed. He's throwing his hits from the other side of the map, like from the high ground. Lolo still holding onto that black hole. Centaur's down, 50 seconds left. There's the glyph being forced as Manny loses the Aegis here. You have to be careful not to cluster too much. Okay, BKB being popped by Manny, so he's on the run. Making his way out. Missing the hookshot as well as the Clockwork. 35 seconds for the Centaur to respawn. Melee racks are still holding. They still have the melee racks as well on the side. How do they approach this? No Aegis. Cheese and Clockwork. Also the Refresher Shard on the Enigma. TB is a really tanky guy though. I mean, they can kill him, but they have to get to him first. If TB mispositions him at least one time, he's got 646 last hits as well in 45 minutes. Oh, I want to see this guy's GPM. 869 is the Terrorblade's GPM right now. Okay, they find Manny. Zed moving himself in. Enigma almost. Okay, sick boy. He hasn't... Oh, there's the black hole! He catches the Centaur, but he doesn't catch the TB. Well, they trade the Centaur. He does have a buyback, though. That's the first black hole gone. There's the BKB Refresher Shard being used. They find Zed. Do they? Lolo looking. There's the first black hole. He's still got a third one. They actually kill Zed. Zed instantly buying back, but he doesn't have the Metamorph for another 50 seconds. Viva La Vida stuck in the wards. He does end up going down. Manny looking for these melee racks. They should be able to take it down. Yes, they will. Shadow Fiend on the run now. Zed, he pops his Metamorph. How did he... Oh, yeah, he bought a Refresher Orb. So, yes, now he has that other one. Up again, Lolo waiting in the trees, popping his BKB. Look at that black hole! Catching two men at the same time. Shadow Fiend is trying to do his best work here, but it is not going to be enough. Manny is caught in the shackles. He is dead. Lolo, he's dead as well. And Terrorblade on... He is still alive. Shadow Fiend barely making his way out. They did get the melee racks. They got some buybacks out. But they used everything. And Radiants are still holding. 4 buybacks. 4 to 4 deaths. A massive XP change for Centaur. Shadow Shaman is 23 as well, so if he gets that plus 60 wards attack damage, ooh, that gonna hurt. Space created for creeps indeed. 90 seconds for the Metamorph to be up, 120 for the Refresher Orb to be up on the Terrorblade. Heroes are about to start respawning on the Dire side, but can they take racks? There's still the backdoor protection. Creeps are coming over here, so they should be able to get there soon enough. Glyph already used. Creeps are in the base. They take at least one set of racks. Will they go for more? They actually want to go. They actually want to end the game here, so they're going straight for the tier 4s. Shadow Fiend blinking in, getting his ulti out. Zed is getting stunned. He does get the Sunder out, and he's surviving. They get the Clockwork. He has no buyback, and they force the buyback from the Klinks as well. What a smart move there by the Radiant team, just going straight for the tier 4s, baiting out the fight. Clockwork didn't quite land his hook shot on the target. He hit the Shadow Fiend. Now they're going back in again for the tier 4s. That is one down. They've got the wards placed onto the ground, doing work on these tier 4 towers. This is going to be the Radiant team winning this game, or will they? Can Shadow Fiend do enough work here? Jumping in with the Blink Dagger, trying to do hits on this Terrorblade, but he's way too tanky. Lolo, 10 more seconds for the Black Hole. Ancient is open. Shadow Fiend is gone. He has to buy back straight away to the fights. Terrorblade is falling low. The casks are bouncing back and forth. No buyback on the Terrorblade. 120 seconds gone. Centaur and Gyro, there's the Black Hole as well to catch this lonesome Shadow Shaman here. They do get that, so that is 4 heroes dead. Clockwork also buying back. Their base is in trouble. Beto Gilnor, the only man to hold this Shadow Shaman. I don't think he even wants to buy back into this. How can they hold this base? Just the two of them. A valiant effort, but dire hold. Oh. Second Black Hole is up as he's used a refresher. I want to get this melee Rex done. They will. They grab Beto Gilnor. He doesn't pop his Black Hole. I don't think he wants to. Ogre is dead. They take down the tier 4s and they call the GG. Well played. Baunupojat will make their way to the next round of the Taurora Cup, which actually means that they are one of the first teams to head to the best 4, actually. So Berlin and Monkey managed to win Miracle Fanboys and Baunupojat as they beat the PK Jengi here today. Will make their way to the top 4 teams. We still have 2 games going on. You can check the I think it's Wanderers versus Naber +4, which is on the e-urheilu stream, which is the main Finnish stream here. And then we still have one. Yeah, we have the Berlinin Munkki vastaan Baunupojat. I don't know. It depends on which stream they're going to be casting, which game they're going to be casting. Otherwise, I'll just take over that series, and that is going to be a best of 3, and that will be the last series for me because I have to start working on the epicenter, or then I'll just call it here. So I'll keep you guys updated. But for now, I'll just play you guys some music and chill around for a moment as I figure out what we're going to do next. Anyway, go to the main stream and take a look at the Finnish game going over there. We'll be right back here. Alright, so I think we have things underway here, as we have the first semifinals best of one between Berlin Monkey and Paunupojat. Of course, Berlin Monkey on the dire side, and Paunupojat, who just won the Helsinki team BK Jengi. With Mad Scientist, Manny, Ohi on, Viva la Vida, and Lollo. Whereas Berlin Monkey, who was covered on the main Finnish stream earlier on, with Redeemed, Rampe, Jana Fibonacci, and I think that is Keisari. The happy face guy, I'm not entirely sure. Let me quickly double check the names for this team. Yeah, so there's Fuser, ML Whisper, Rampe, Keisari, and K-Thanks. Yeah. Alright, so if you know better than what I do of who is who, give me a hint on who is who. At least I know Rampe, and I'm not sure if that's K-Thanks or Keisari with the happy face. If someone can help me out, just write in chat so I know who is who. But anyway, into the draft. Paunupojat, they have pretty basic bans here in the first phase with the Omni Knight, the Night Stalker, Enchantress as well. Pretty basic roamers being banned out, position 4s mostly. And on Berlin Monkey, Earth Spirit, Shadow Shaman, Rubik. Okay, Rubik's a very interesting ban here. Probably, I'm not sure if that's like a respect ban or if they have a good Rubik player on their team. But looking at the draft itself, we've got Lycan, a fairly strong hero at the moment in this meta. Ancient Apparition, also a very underrated support pick. You don't see it picked that often, at least in the pro scene. They don't really prefer using this hero, since you want more active supports. You want like supports who are very close to the fight, especially in the mid-late game phase. Like early game, AA is pretty weak, doesn't really help your supports that much, and you want a reliable stun instead of a stationary stun. So something like a Clockwork could have worked really well with the Ancient Apparition to combo with, but Clockwork picked by the Dire team. And also a first phase Puck pick as well. They have the Witch Doctor as their second support, and Faceless Void to add up to the Chrono. So let's see if there's... Well, there's still Terrorblade open in the draft, so they could maybe go for a Void Terrorblade combo. Since they're still thinking about their last ban on the Radiant team, what they're going to take away. There's the CK Shadow Fiend at least. Shadow Fiend at least a good thing to take away. I mean, of course it was banned before they picked the Void, so... you were asking about the Epicenter cast. That will be in 2 hours. That'll be 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I also have Wingblade to co-cast with me through the first series, that is the semi-finals, and we'll see how we do with the finals if I get someone to cast with me. But anyway, back to the Taurora cast itself. There's a Tinker being picked here as the last pick for the Radiant team, and there's okay, Broodmother, interesting. So they've got a Void more like focusing with solo kills on the Chrono. You can use it for zoning your opponents as well. You got some pick-off potential with the Clockwork Witch Doctor combo, also the Puck to follow up, and very nasty silence again as well against the Tinker. But Lincoln's is an itemization choice that you want to go for the Puck, probably even with the Void as well. It's 4 a.m. Where are you from, by the way? Just to clarify, where you're from. We have most of the viewers here are Finnish at the moment, but since we're casting a Finnish tournament. But yeah, the drafts are looking pretty even on both sides. Also like this Magnus pickup by the Radiant team, so probably we'll see some big team fights from both sides. Void Chrono and the RP on the Magnus. Tinker also adding up a nice punch for their team. Just a quick double check.
Oh, goody, I'm so terribly excited.
Alright, good. So, on the side of Paunupojat, we have Lollo with the offlane Magnus, Mad Scientist playing support Ancient Apparition. Ohion with the mid Tinker. Viva la Vida with a support Conka. And Manny with a safe lane Lycan. Then on the side of Berlinemukki, there is Redeemed on Clockwork. I would believe that... wait, I actually have the positions marked up here on the Taurora page. So that should be Geisari. There is your mid laner, ML Whisper, known as Yana. Then also on the off lane, Fibonacci. But how are they sitting these through? Because Rampe was supposed to be position 3. So, okay, I'm completely lost right now because I can't even trust the the sign-up brackets. Magnus having a little seizure there. Anyway, Witch Doctor as well. Pretty sure that's either Geisari or K-Thanks, but there's the push away for Clockwork. They don't want them to give the bounty rune away. There's nobody here to pick up this fourth bounty, which is interesting because usually you always pick up all the bounty runes, but now it's still there to wait for someone to pick it up. Oh, you're from New Zealand. Alright, that's very cool. I've always wanted to go somewhere, like not Australia, but at least New Zealand would be a very exotic place to go to. At least from the eyes of a Finnish person. So we have a Tinker versus Broodmother here in the mid lane. Redeem just harassing Viva la Vida, just poking him away with the cogs. Manny versus Fibonacci here in the bottom lane. Puck is one of those heroes that is very, very strong in establishing lane control. Harassing quite a lot there. Onto the Lycan. Mad Scientist and Viva la Vida just keeping Redeemed away. See how this goes. Then there's also Lolo with Magnus against Witch Doctor and Rampes Void here in the top lane. I'm wondering how this mid lane is going to go with the Tinker versus the Broodmother, since it's 5-1 against 4 last hits on the Brood, but there's a good rotation by Clockwork just poking this Tinker away, burning a bit of his mana as well, and he instantly just buys himself a magic wand. So he bought the stick, and he bought the mango as well to make that wand complete. Rampe trading some hits with Lolo here. Doesn't want to go for a tower dive just quite yet. Lihis Gaming, do you want to help me out a bit with the player names, like who is actually playing on the Dire side? Because I'm confused who is who right now with all the cover-up names. Way to get the Torrent landing onto Redeemed. He's also frozen in spot, so one more hit should do. There's the cog block as well. So saves his life for the time being. Manny's having an okay time with his lane as well, with 7 last hits as well, so he should be off to a good start. Lycan also packs a really good punch with his right-click damage. Witch Doctor is Geisari, and K-Thanks, also known as Kotari, is the Puck. Okay, so this is K-Thanks, and this is Geisari. Yeah, okay, so I was almost correct. So that leaves Rampe playing of the Void, Fuser and ML Whisper. They're somewhere between. I would see Fuser playing Broodmother, I think. Oh, Fuser playing Clockwork. Okay, yeah. Whoa. Not like this. Anyway. Fuser making his rotation here behind the Tinker. He's tanking a lot of damage from this tower, though. Is this a smart move to go for? Actually gives the first blood to the Tinker here. So, that is first blood given, but Broodmother going all the way to chase this Tinker. He's got the Spiderlings to slow him down. There's also... Is there enough damage? One more hit should do, and that's it, do it. So Broodmother picks himself a kill there. Random GG, well played called as well. That won't count though. I'll just let the players play and just ignore the GG well played completely. Manny getting hit here by the Puck. Getting harassed quite a lot. There's the burst as well from his W, which is level 2, so it does a lot of damage, and they get the kill onto the safe lane Lycan. But now Mad Scientist and Viva la Vida, they're trying to find Fuser in the trees. And he ends up walking into the Ancient Apparition. He's stuck between everyone. Oh, he actually cogs everyone together. Nice little comfy party there between all of the heroes. Tinker with 19 last hits, even though he died once to the Broodmother with 13 last hits too. Pretty tied up. Magnus, though, he is having a rough time against this Void because he's getting harassed quite a lot, driven out of lane. He's only got 4 last hits, so might have to resort to the option of going into the jungle, using your Shockwave to farm up a bit faster. Maybe make some stacks as well. He doesn't have any so far. Especially with a Golem, this is going to be pretty nasty to work with that. Rotations coming into the mid lane. Fuser waiting in the trees here. Viva la Vida and Ohion, they both go into the low ground. They've got this Invis on the Tinker. Mad Scientist is also waiting here. Meanwhile, top lane, Lolo is pretty weak. He's got 300 health. That should be enough for the Void and the Witch Doctor to get a kill, but they don't know where he is. Okay, there we go. Geisari putting that Observer Ward onto the high ground, giving some vision, but Broodmother has already gone down here in the mid lane. The Broodlings chasing down this Kunkka, so at least they get a kill through that. Emil Whisper doesn't seem to be a part. Okay, I thought that Emil Whisper was their mid laner. This Brood player right here. Fuser making a rotation to the bottom lane again. They caught the Lycan once. Can they do so again with the Battery Assault? There's the Cogs as well. They still got the burst on the Puck. Then they have the Orb as well. The Cogs getting hit as well. Does he? He doesn't want to go for the Wild Throw. He still wants to make his way out. Oh goodness, Fuser getting blocked by this one single Jimmy here. He's doing work of the gods right there, blocking his way out. Meanwhile, Tinker falls in the mid lane for this Broodmother, so Yana picking up a kill there. Geisari also making sure that everything's okay here. He has an Observer Ward with him. He could place it here to give more info about the mid lane, but getting this Tinker is very, very crucial because it slows down his Boots of Travel timer. But now Fibonacci, good juke onto the Torrent and also jumps himself away. Manages to make his way out. Okay, Tinker is in trouble. He gets hit by the Cask and also the Maledict, but Brood is taking a lot of damage from this. He does get killed by the tower in the end, but this is a Maledict level 1. Is it going to be enough to take him down? One more tick. Not going to be enough. And so this Witch Doctor also ends up going down. Fuser is in between Mad Scientist and Viva la Vida. So these 3 guys, they've been sharing some grudges throughout this entire matchup. Okay, Imaki is playing Brood. Okay. There's the Chrono being used on the top lane for Magnus. So Lolo, he still has his Skewer, but he takes the Void with him. 1 bash should do. Where's the movement speed though in Rampe? He jumps behind the Magnus, gets the kill. Individual effort right there. Using the Chrono to weaken down the Magnus, pulling himself with the Skewer. I mean, he would have probably taken him with him anyway, even if he tried to dodge and just skewer away. Void can always jump right after. Tinker at 46 last hits right now, leading the net worth chart, just a bit ahead of the Void, about 100 gold advantage. Lolo versus Rampe here in the top lane, level 4 versus level 7. No points in time dilation, so Magnus could always get away with the Skewer. But as mentioned before, Void can always jump behind and follow up. He's got a 12-second cooldown on the Time Walk, and on the last level it drops to 6, so it's half of what it used to be. Manny might be in trouble though. There's a rotation by Geisari. K-Thanks and also Fuser waiting here in the trees. Realizing that there is something happening here. Wolves also giving some info about this, so he knows exactly that there are several heroes of the Dire team over here. At the same time, Radiant heroes moving into the top lane, trying to look for something, but they don't quite find anyone. Not just yet. Void is also farming here in the jungle. He's got 50 last hits, 29 denies, has himself a Morbid Mask, working his way towards a Mask of Madness, but they found the Tinker in the trees, and this is a big kill. Once again, Tinker, 3rd death in this game. So Imaki and Fuser finding the Tinker once again, slowing him down. Even with 4 actual kills on the Tinker, he still died several times, which does slow him down. There's a glyph being used, but Brood finishing off this tower 8 minutes in. Manny, does he have any help from his supports? They realize this rotation is happening. Is there any TPs coming in? Not quite yet. He pops his ulti. These casks are bouncing back and forth, back and forth. Manny almost felt like, oh, they missed the Puck ulti as well. Nice, well played. This is the exact same reaction I would get if I was playing puck and he missed the ulti, because if he would have landed, he could have still gone for the dive and look a kill for themselves. Magnus doesn't even have his mana boots ready yet. Should be another 100 gold till he has those. He definitely needs at least his mana boots because of the RP mana cost being at 200. That's over half of the mana pool that he has available right now. So if he has those mana boots, then he can start working on the Blink Dagger. You can always still skewer in and use the RP then. He's still not level 6 either. They're expecting this Tinker to make another appearance here, as he already got found once. Now they're moving again onto Manny in the bottom lane. So as long as they keep focusing on the Tinker, just applying pressure, finding him, slowing down his farm, it's all space created for this Broodmother, who's already taken down the mid-tier 1 tower. Looking towards this tier 2, cannot quite get there yet, and Void is having a great time against Magnus as well, with a 3,000 net worth lead, and they found this Lycan, and they will take him down. Fuser picking up the last hit there. 67 with a 3,000 net worth lead so far for this Dire team. And slowly, they are kind of... I mean, even if you're a pro team playing against a weaker team, early game can still be, you know, it can still be troublesome. Even for harder, I mean, even for better teams. But at least this Broodmother knows his ways around this. No rockets available for this Tinker. He does get silenced as well by K-Thanks. Forcing these two heroes away. There's the Spider army just finding this Kunkka. Puck also goes for a deep dive, gets himself a kill and survives as well. Tinker had to rearm but instantly walk away. He's so low on mana right now, but Manny wants to look for a revenge kill. Look at these hits from the Witch Doctor. Manny just bursting him down. They get the puck as well. And this ulti still has a couple seconds left. Can Manny pick up this Broodmother? He's giving him chase, but he just ran out of time on his ultimate and he cannot quite close the gap between the Broodmother. Maybe at least farm a couple spiders, but not even that. Meanwhile, top lane, Rambe, he has his chrono on cooldown. A lot of rotations are coming in and another jump in 1 second, so he is completely fine. Even if this Ancient Apparition shows up, they don't have that reliable stun which we spoke of before, but there's the Torrent landing onto the Clockwork. Viva La Vida in trouble though. He's being isolated from his team. Manny doesn't have anything to help him out, so this Kunkka will be collateral damage and will end up going down. Usually a Tinker will have his BOTs somewhere between 6 to 10 minutes, but this is taking 12 and it's still not ready. So the Dire team have succeeded in slowing down this Tinker enough to create space for this Void to farm, who is going for a Battle Fury build. Needs a couple thousand gold to finish it off, but already has a Mask of Madness and his Power Treads. He's level 11 as well. So if you take a quick look at hero levels, it is the Brood and the Void taking a big lead compared to all the others. Smoke play here by Geyser and Fuser. Hoping to find Manny once again. They see him with the ward. Sneaking up behind him. There's the hook shot to follow up onto Manny. 10 seconds for his ulti. I don't think he can run away from this. He will end up going down. The Maledict should finally finish him off. Too bad you can't deny your teammate from Maledict. That would be too nice to have. And another kill, killing this Lycan. Third death for him in this game. The Tinker, he has his BOTs ready, working on that Blink Dagger to get some extra mobility. And by this time, you can actually start seeing that very active dewarding on the side of the Dire team. Also very active warding. They've put this nice little observer ward here in the middle of the jungle. They also have a very deep ward blocking one of these camps and also giving info. This is actually a very off-mark sentry as well, so they don't actually see where the observer ward is. They don't want to waste too much money on placing sentries as well to get rid of that observer ward, which will expire shortly. But it's been doing enough work since it slowed down this Tinker's farm. Imaki is so close to getting his Radiance. He just bought the relic. He has the recipe in his bag. 13 minutes Radiance for this Broodmother. Bottom lane, they found the Lycan once again, and they will punish him for it. He is dead. Geisari picks up the last hit there. Rampe. Chrono, actually, I think he uses Chrono before, so cooldown for another 70 seconds. Just continues farming, closing up on that Battle Fury. So we've got a Battle Fury on the Void, we've got the Radiance on the Brood Mother. Tinker far away from his Blink Dagger. And Lycan just doesn't seem to be making any progress right now. He's looking to build into a Vladimir's. You don't necessarily see Vlad's being built as a first item anymore. But he is probably still relying on some of the older builds. Maybe it could surprise their opponents. The only ones who actually... I mean, okay, he does boost up his bonus damage. Plus the Empower from the Magnus, so he can do a lot of right-click damage with the help of the Mag. And the Vlads. But he would be the only one dealing those right-click hits. If he gets caught by a Chrono and he's dead, they lose basically all of their right-click damage. So it's all down to the Tinker. And who is their frontliner? Is going to be Kunkka. Kunkka's level 5. Mad Scientist almost level 6, and once they have this AA ulti up, they could start making plays, and pretty interesting positioning here by Fuser. He's behind enemy lines right now, as they're taking this tier 2 tower, just throwing the flare just in case. Mad Scientist is afraid to go any deeper because they realize that the rocket came from somewhere around here. He might be. Usually you see them like rotating somewhere over here, maybe even placing yourself up here, but usually like blocking the high ground entrance. But now there's a fight going on as Geisari ends up going down to the Tinker, but they lose the Tinker as well. So there's the AA blast, but it is too late for this ability to land up. But there's the Torrent, there's the RP as well with the boat. They get the Void at least, who didn't get to use the Chrono, and now they're giving chase. Manny with his ultimate trying to chase Fuser. They get the web out, but he gets hit by the cogs twice, and then slowing him down a bit. There's the X mark as well into the Clockwork, so they get themselves a kill, but Broodmother making work in the mid lane. Rat is real as these little broodlings. Okay, that is a Kunkka. He doesn't even care about him because he doesn't have any mana to do anything. He doesn't even have a Tidebringer leveled up, so doesn't even worry about what's happening right now. Shrine is being used as well by the Ancient Apparition, trying to build up some extra mana. Geisari keeping an eye open for this Broodmother. They have scouted out this Ancient Apparition in the jungle. Actually, these are Radiant wards, so they... oh yeah, the deeper wards are over here, which is about to expire, but they have a very crucial Observer ward placed over here. Fuser looking for the Tinker. One more second to the hookshot. He lands it. Perfect timing there. But Magnus is also coming. He does have some one charges. He does use them, but he ends up going down anyway. But is this a space created? Thought, because Rampe heads straight to the Roshan pit, forcing Tinker to go actually back to base. Magnus is going away too, so free Roshan. It looks like it. So Imaki and Rampe both hitting onto this Roshan with Medallion of Courage, dropping down the majority of the armor of Roshan. 18 is still quite a lot to have, but 17 minutes. So they have themselves the first Aegis of the game, and now Broodmother getting X marked. There's the ship coming as well. It's not gonna land though. There's the Chrono as well onto the Kunkka. Slow him down. Rampe trying to get some. He's actually hit by the A ultimate. It might fall down here as he has nothing to regenerate from. He's falling low, but he gets the jump, but they get the X mark out as well. Though, Fuser doing some work at the backlines. The Witch Doctor's dead, and so is the Kunkka already, but this Broodmother trying to fight through all of this. There's the Puck ulti to slow them down. Well played by K, thanks. Keeping this Radiant team in place, and everyone just seems to be getting away. They did get the Void. They did kill the Witch Doctor. They traded the Kunkka for it. Still have the RP on the Magnus as well. Manny's right-click damage with the Vlads and the Empower. He's doing about 200 damage here, 18 minutes into the game. This should be an easy tower for the Radiant team. Fuser with an Invis rune, just moving around here, might set himself behind Lolo and Manny, so let's see how he plays this situation. Viva la Vida also making his way to here, Redeem. There's Fuser jumping in, getting the cog block onto Manny. Manny, he uses his Howl. They get a combo set up onto Fuser. He is already dropping low. There's the Casks jumping around, finally dies to the Rockets as the Witch Doctor ultimate by KS, and an RP onto 2, and Imok gives him trouble. He loses the Aegis and he loses his ulti as well, so he's lacking so much damage right now. They're clustering around this Broodmother. There's the AA ultimate as well, which will connect in a triple kill for this Tinker. So even though they are behind 4,000 or 3,000 net worth or so, they get the most out of the straight, killing the Broodmother and both of the supports of the Dire team. A lot of gold, but especially a lot of XP. Tinker. He's scouted by K-Thanks. He knows where the Tinker is, throwing his ulti onto the ground, so Tinker cannot move around, but he goes for a straight TP out. Doesn't really mind about the Puck ultimate being thrown onto him. Lolo has his Blink Dagger. I think he had it in the previous fight as well. Not entirely sure, but at least he got himself a good RP, catching 2 heroes there, and they just burst down the Aegis off the Brood and getting those 2 kills. Now they just need to try and keep up at the pace. The Brood and the Tinker are both tied in net worth, which is okay, but Brood will continue getting bigger. Fuser making his way out. He should survive this, even with the level 1 AA blast thrown on top of him. And a smart build by Mad Scientist, not going for the Chilling Touch, but instead going points on the Ice Vortex and then getting that Chilling Blast. Just to get the maximum damage out of your magical damage that you have. Is Aether Lens the best item for Tinker to build now? Yeah, I would agree with Bobby Vira. It's pretty situational, since it does. This is what Aether Lens looks right now. So you get extra range in your spells. It's good when you have an Aghanims to combine with your laser, but it depends on your opponent's lineup. For like example, in this game, Void and Brood, which are fairly fast and mobile heroes, both of them, you want to keep some distance to the Chrono. So in this case, the Aether Lens is good. If you walk too close, you'll set yourself in trouble for the Clockwork to maybe jump in. You need to have a good positioning on the Tinker. So in this case, Aether Lens is good. He's got a Kaya. Yes, he does get some extra damage amp. Okay, they get the set onto Gaze at his Witch Doctor. There's a Rocket as well, and Tinker picking himself another kill. May they actually look for more as they are chasing Fuser at the high ground. This is exactly how you play with it as a Tinker. You set yourself in positions where you can deal the most, but they don't get the kill anyway. Here in the bottom lane, there's the Chrono being used onto Manny, so he's unable to run away with his ultimate. There's the RP. It doesn't quite connect onto the Void, so Lolo actually puts himself in trouble there, pushing this Broodmother back to the low ground with him. Redeemed. Fuser, I mean, he does get burst down by the Tinker, and now they quickly have to get the hell out of there. Mad Scientist not gonna be able to run away from Imaki, but at least Tinker survives this brawl. So they actually did a lot of damage here. So Manny took himself a tower. Then they used the glyph. So did he actually? I'm not sure if he took this tier 1. He took the tier 3 and almost a tier. Tier 1, tier 2, and almost a tier 3 as well. So good pushing by the Lycan, who is going for a halberd next. I completely missed that one. But there was a fight going elsewhere, so wish I had like a split screen caster thingy, you know. Well, I mean, I don't have 2 mouses, and I definitely don't have 4 hands. Aether Lens will be the pickup for Kunkka, getting some extra range for his X-Mark Torrent ship combo. Rampe also has that Battle Fury, Mask of Madness, has the BKB ready for him, so he's not going for the Manta build, which you usually see being built against the Tinker. BKB is great though, because it You can't be lasered while you're in it, but Mad Scientist getting caught here by the Yules. It should be a kill on the Ancient Apparition. He does get his ult out just before the silence, and Manny actually running in the wrong direction, but at least they get an observer ward for it. Fuser getting closer to his blade mail. Nice way with the rocket there, getting information of this Tinker. This should be a kill onto the Tinker, and there's the BKB to take off the laser debuff. They wanted to make sure that this kill is on point. Chrono catching Kunkka. Okay, they catch K-Thanks as well with the puck. What does Magnus want to do? He has the RP pushing back this Clockwork. Doesn't quite land with the ship, but they still get the kill. So at least something in return for losing their Tinker, but this Tinker kill is big for the Dire team. Manny already rotated to the bottom lane, wants to continue pushing there as the Brood sets his creep waves forward here. But a heads up to the Radiant lineup, as they've been able to hold this defense for quite a long time. Even though they're 8,000 net worth behind right now of the Dire lineup, they're still doing pretty good here. Also wondering what is Kunkka's build going to be in this game, since he I think he isn't actually going for a blade mail. I would not build a blade mail on Kunkka. Sometimes you do, but in most cases you don't. It's not the same way as playing as a Clockwork, who's more that frontliner type of roamer. Lolo and Mad Scientist. He's got the Force Staff on the Magnus as well, giving some extra mobility. But now we have 4 heroes here in the bottom lane, trying to look for this puck. K-Thanks already hiding in the trees. Magnus reveals himself. They find Fuser at least, who pops his blade mail. Only 2 heroes here so far. They're waiting for the puck to show himself. He will. Lolo, he's still alive, but does he miss the RP? He does, but finally he blinks himself to death. Anyway, there's the Kunkka ship coming this way, but there's a BKB being popped by the Broodmother. They're still surviving for the time being. AA taking some hits. Kunkka's also falling low, but they have the Rum, so they will survive for now. Rampe also jumps in. He's got 7 seconds until his Chrono's ready, and this is a disaster for the Radiant team. They waited maybe a bit too long, and they sacrificed the Kunkka and the Magnus. They used the RP, but a very, very good dodge by K-Thanks on the puck, using his phase shift. It's almost one of those wow moments where you press E and you dodge something. But anyway, well played by him. Also got the kill on the Magnus, who blinked away from the puck ulti. Tinker has his money for the Aghanims if he wants to. He will straight up buy it. So now with the Aether Lens, with the Aghanims, he might actually have to put away his bottle or his soul ring. I would rather put the bottle away. He's still holding it in his backpack. At least farming wise, he can still hold onto the bottle and then put the axe when it looks like he's about to jump into a fight, since he is constantly oh, he gets caught once again by Fuser on the Clockwork. Where's the backup though? There's the Conquer, there's the Lycan. They still survive, saving the Tinker, and there's the AA Blast, but Manny has already killed him before it even lands. This could mean actually, will they go for Roshan? They will actually. So Manny and Viva La Vida making their way towards the Roshan pit, straight away charging inside. The Dire team might figure out this is the call that they went for, but they don't have any wards around, so this has a cheese and an Aegis. The last one went to the Dire team, but this one looks to be going for the Radiant. And they really need this Aegis. Finally, a Spiderling shows up. Oh, and he actually denies the cheese with that small little Spiderling, so oh dear. Well, at least they get the Aegis, so that one didn't get denied, but he lose the cheese to a small Spiderling. Geisari has himself a Solar Crest, which will help quite a lot taking down enemy heroes. Especially on the Lycan, who does tend to pack a punch and has a lot of armor as well. They get the combo onto the Witch Doctor. Okay, they pull him actually out from the ship combo, so Witch Doctor's still alive. He gets the RP out. There's the AA Blast on his way. Will connect onto 3. Witch Doctor should die to this. Magnus is gone. Lycan taking a lot of hits from Rampe, and there's the Aegis pop. Fuser falls anyway, and now Viva La Vida, and there's actually Tinker getting hit by the Broodmother, but Tinker has to TP away, and Kunkka is the next one to fall. Manny is being pinged out here. They're trying to find him in the trees. They're still pinging where he might be. They finally give the chase to him. They get the Yules onto the Lycan. There's no one to help him out, at least for now. Tinker trying to come and help him out, but Manny won't be able to TP out. Triple kill for Imaki on this Broodmother. Well, that did not go in the way of the Radiant team as they were expecting or hoping this to go. Puck putting some push into the bottom lane, just pushing these creep waves forward, taking away that backdoor protection as well. Instantly TPs to the bottom lane, so good split pushing by one man. Also working on Dagon level 5 as well. Brood Mama. Looks like he's picking a Vitality booster, so that means an Abyssal Blade. Okay, so the Abyssal Blade is actually great against this Tinker. It's one of the best items to lock him down in place. Scythe, in a way, is okay as well, but I would still see Abyssal Blade the best possible option here, as most of these melee damage dealers are the cores. Actually, almost all of them, except for the Puck on the Dire side. So Abyssal Blade is a good pickup here against the Tinker. Brood is also capable of moving around in these trees pretty well, so he should be able to find the Tinker almost every time. Fuser building onto a Spirit Vessel next. Also a great item against the Lycan to drop his health pool, since Lycans usually tend to have a very big health pool, somewhere around 3 to 4k. So Spirit Vessel, as it takes percentual damage, will hurt the more you have health. It'll be interesting to see if he goes for a heart, because he needs to survive this void during the Chronosphere. Even if he gets constantly bashed, if Tinker is still alive, he has the Aghanims, he can back him up with the laser. Force the BKB from the void as well with the laser, since there's no Manta pickup on this void. He's going for a Bloodthorn as well. So silencing Tinker or Magnus if you've got quick fingers, these two things are pretty important. So Tinker also might have to think about maybe a... Okay, the casual Force Staff pick is very good, but do something to dispel either from you or your teammate from you. So maybe a Lotus Orb pickup from either of the supports. There's a Spirit Vessel coming for the Kunkka. AA working on another Force Staff, and Magnus going for the Aghanims build. I've never actually liked the Ags on the new Ags on the Magnus. Fuser almost getting the Tinker with the hookshot, with the flare as well, getting some vision. Net worth has changed in a way that now Dire have a triple lead. Tinker the only one being the glue that's sticking this team together. Manny's push has also been very important, taking down that tier 3 tower. It is still up though, but will eventually fall if they get an opening for pushing. Fuser walking pretty deep here. Viva la Vida throwing his entire combo onto this Clockwork, catching into... There's the rocket as well. AA Blast will miss. Another X mark. More and more rockets are coming their way. He is still alive though. $17,000 net worth lead as the Dire team lead this game 24-27. That cheese deny was actually huge now that you think about them picking up the Aegis, winning a defensive fight, and they didn't have the cheese to either heal up the Magnus or go for a full-on push. It kind of also demoralizes you in a way, but now Fuser jumping himself away with a hookshot. Lol, almost getting that skewer out. He does get it now, slowing down the Clockwork. There's the AA Blast, but Tinker will finally finish him off with the rockets. They have all of their ultimates up as well, but Lycan actually just popped his own, getting getting blocked by this little Prowler. Rampe taking some damage onto the top tier 2 tower, forcing the Glyph being used. Chronosphere AoE is his pickup for the level 25 talent. It's always good to have an extra big AoE zone, especially with the Aetherlens pickup on the Tinker, so even more safe space or safe zone to move around in. Smoke play by Lolo and Viva La Vida. They see the Void. They know exactly where he is. But there's the RP. Do they have detection though? AA Blast is on its way. Will connect. Okay, they didn't want to use the Conquer ship. They failed with the RP. And this could be a counter smoke play if they want to go for it. But that didn't really work out. Conker's still building on his items. Hasn't made much progress as a support towards that. Geysari working on a Ghost Scepter, taking away most of the physical damage on the Radiant team. I like the fact that Void actually went for a Shadow Blade instead of the Blink Dagger, since you can't necessarily blink from every situation. Especially with so many random flying abilities. You've got the rockets on the Tinker, you've got the March as well. Conker might be able to catch you. She might end up hitting by the Shockwave, and even if you get hit by the Ancient Apparition ulti, you can't use your Blink. So at least Shadow Blade can give them a sneaky chance for an initiation, but the Fuser getting hit by the AA Blast, and once again, Fuser just soaking up the damage here, but Rambe is looking for an opportunity to go into the Magnus. He pops his BKB. And that is a big BKB pop as well. They do find the Void. There's a huge Chrono. Actually dodges Lolo. But they lose this Conker in a trade. But they use the BKB and the Chrono. They get Mad Scientist as well. So it ends up being worth for the Dire team. Great blink by Lolo, saving his life. Not enough though. Lycan found here in the top lane. Okay, thanks, giving chase to this Lycan. Knows exactly where he is. Geysari also making he throws out the Maledict and his ultimate. There's a silence onto Manny. He's dropping low and he should fall here. Even if he pops his ulti, there's no way of getting out of there. 21, actually now 22,000 net worth lead for the Dire team. Giving chase to Lolo is Imaki, driving him away. There's the AA Blast as well. That's a lot of gold for this Mad Scientist Ancient Apparition. It's still working on a Force Staff. Also Lolo denies this tier 2 tower, but now the Dire team looking forward to taking this tier 2 tower in the top lane. It's pretty low, around 300 health left. Tinker has to be careful for his positioning. He just instantly blinks backwards as he throws the March forward. So you don't want to hide in the trees anymore, knowing that Fuser, who's probably been playing Tinker a couple times himself as well. K-Thanks. Alright, he doesn't want to go into the trees either. Lolo gets another deny, but Fuser goes for a deep jump onto the Conker. He throws a Torrent, but no X-Mark. There's the X-Mark. There's the AA Blast as well, connecting onto the Clockwork. They should get this boat too. They don't. Oh, Rampe with a 3-man Chronosphere, catching Conker, catching Magnus, and also the Ancient Apparition. There's the Dagon Explosion. There's a nice RP from Lolo though, but where's the damage? There's finally Manny making an appearance here as Geysari falls. There's also the Ancient Apparition dead with Lycan. He cannot kill the boy, just healed himself right away. So Manny's gone 70 seconds. No, actually he does have a buyback, but Conker and AA, they don't. And now there's also Broodmother diving in deep, catching Lolo. He has to instantly buy back into the fight, as well as their base is now the next target for this Dire team. They are slowly chipping into this tier 3 tower. Lolo just blinked into the middle of everything, getting instantly silenced, almost dying to the Bloodthorn as well. But now the top rack's melee is gone, range should be gone as well, and so the Dire team, they can either continue to choose pushing or just fall back, and they will decide to retreat for now. I don't think there's much coming back from this. They have found their ways to shutting down this Tinker. And Manny's Lycan is very, very ineffective right now. This Void pick has been really good in these fights that they have. Also insane amounts of attack speed on this hero with the Mask of Madness, but now he will pick himself an Aegis, and there is a Refresher Shard too. cheese going in the way of the Broodmother. I think this next push just might be it, as the Dire team spread out around the map, pushing every wave in. Top will passively push in anyway, as the racks are already down. And they want to go for the finals, as this is a best of one, so winning this game will allow you a spot in the finals. I also have some time to prepare myself for the coming cast in an hour, where I have 5 anchors playing against AR Pro in the Epicenter European Open Qualifiers #1 semifinals. But that is in an hour, so not quite yet, but I'll have some time to grab another cup of coffee. They find the Tinker here in the trees. K-Thanks gets the ulti. Oh, look at that burst damage from the Puck. And the Yules as well. So this Tinker is gone. Not much he can do against K-Thanks, as this Puck 6-1-14 is a part of 20 kills out of 35. That's a good percentage as well. Rampe finding this lonesome Kunkka here. Doesn't want to use his Chrono, just forcing Kunkka back into base. Showing who's boss. And there's Bobby saying that Lycan, there's not much to explain why they picked this hero. It's not really working in sync with the heroes that they have. Rampe popping his BKB just to get rid of the laser, trying to kill this Kunkka, who threw the boat away. There's a BKB by Magnus. He throws an RP onto 2, but he's behind everyone, so he cannot get the... Oh, he finally gets the skewer out. Fuser is dead, and they get the Aegis from the Void. But how is this defense gonna continue? Pops the refresher shot, catching free. They get the Tinker. He's gone for 100 seconds. Lolo is the next target who's getting silenced. Rampe just living the life of a dream, just throwing him these nice hits with the Bloodthorn, also grabbing a couple stuns on the way as well. 3 heroes dead on the side of the Radiant team. There's the AA Blast going in, doesn't really do much work against Rampe and Imaki, who are going to be taking down these racks. Rampe jumps in, grabs the time dilation to slow down the Kunkka and the AA. They finally kill the Kunkka, who buys back. Lycan also buys back, as Rampe is at half health. Imaki also on the Broodmother. You can hear the Lycan charging up his ulti. There's the combo onto the Broodmother. He will miss. First hit bash as well. Healing himself back to full health, and there's the BKB pop as well. He'll just deep dive himself into the Radiant behind the Ancients, and still makes his way out here. Does get X-marked though, and might finally end up going down, as Manny and Viva La Vida trying to take the fight to him. There's another BKB pop by Rampe. They're really scared of this Void. He is taking some hits with the Mask of Madness and might actually fall here. He will. 2,200 gold for this Ancient Apparition. And so this Broodmother... Oh goodness, look at the gold that AA just got for himself. Is he gonna grab more gold for himself? I don't think he will. E-Blade landing onto the AA. But this is pretty much game. So, nice 4,100 gold for this Ancient Apparition. Basically, you just got yourself enough money to buy straight an axe from getting 2 kills. But he only has 2,000 gold, so I'm wondering, where did all of his money go? A casual Moon Shard for the Puck. Probably gonna give it to Void or Broodmother. He could probably give it to himself at this point as well, as they are 48,000. This is a massive net worth lead, but as the Radiant team, they already made it this far into the tournament. They don't want to give up. They want to keep going. Maybe learn a couple tricks out of this matchup against this very high-level team that they are playing against that is on the Dire side. Buyback gold penalty, I guess. Yeah, he probably got... I mean, he had allowed like around 1,900, so that's about 50% of what he got. A bit below. Tinker. I don't think he... Oh, he manages to TP out despite the Puck ulti being thrown onto him. Ends up getting stunned in the base. So I like this Puck Axe, as the Scepter coil duration is 8 seconds. And it goes through BKB, goes through everything, so this is a good pickup for the puck. It just feels like, in a way, outdrafted by the Dire team, since I don't see how this Lycan kind of fits into their draft. He was a good pusher early on, but completely useless with this build towards the late game team fighting. He just doesn't have what he needs to move around in these fights. Magnus does okay, add some damage to this Lycan, but it just feels like the synchronize is just off. Find him once again with the hookshot, popping his ultimate. He doesn't have a BKB, so he's getting stunned by quite a lot of stuff here. There's a Chrono by Rampe catching 2 again, and this Tinker is about to fall. Lycan's also dropping very, very low here. Rampe finally finishing off both kills. There's the RP by Lolo, but there's no follow-up to this. They are finding this Ancient Apparition from the back lines. That is a double kill for Rampe, and so Kanka falls as well, and GG is called by Viva la Vida. That means Berlin and Munki is your first finalist here in the Taurora Cup. And a 44-minute brawl with a 56,000 net worth difference compared to the Radiant team. Very dominant performance by them in this match, and that pretty much sweeps my part for this tournament. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching these games. I really hope you guys enjoyed the casting as well. I will be back in an hour for the Epicenter. I will start my stream maybe a bit before we start over there. There will be the Dota TV delay because I was asking from Faceit for the permission to join lobby straightforward. I would have to have a 5-minute delay onto the stream as well if I were to cast through the lobby straight away, but apparently the bot's not working, so I will have to do it from the watch game tab. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this this cast and this stream. Do go watch the main stream on twitch.tv/eurheilu. They will still give you coverage over the finals, and there should be also the other semi-final match going on right now, so still plenty of good action going on. But anyway, my name was T-Panda. Thanks for tuning in. I will start my stream again maybe in 45 minutes or so, but gonna have a break now. Have a good one, and enjoy your day.